Welcome to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. I am Josh Henning.
I'm Phil Gerber.
I'm Jeremy Gerber.
Welcome to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original, presented by Blade HQ. They've got the knives to fit any hand, any belt, any job, and any budget. Just go to bladehq.com/oil and whiskey to shop their selection of knives. Thought I was going to have a new knife from Blade HQ this week, but there was a delay in shipping.
Wah, wah.
So, got something new coming for you. And I checked out those petrified fish. Pretty cool brand.
Yeah.
Got some cool little cleavers and stuff.
I'll tell you who's got something new.
Who's
There's somebody with some.
Oh,
This guy.
This guy.
Right here.
You got
I got a
new?
heater in my pocket right now.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Whip it
Now
out.
it's wintertime.
Are you ready?
so-
Yeah, go ahead.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's perfect for the end of the year podcast, the last one, because I have been trying to get my hands on this for about a year. So, you're gonna be so jealous.
Yep.
Bam. That is the JHO. That's the number 22. I think they call it. So damn sexy. Those brass
That's pretty
inlays
badass.
just got me.
Super cool.
Quite possibly the coolest knife in my collection right now. Next to, of course,
Wow.
the one that you guys made me, which is always number one. But
No, that's really cool.
so bitchin'. It popped up, they're like a limited release. They drop them.
See that?
I jumped on, couldn't sleep, laying up, 2 a.m.
They dropped.
Drops, bam, I'm on it. Wake my wife up. I'm like, hey, I had to PayPal it.
Yeah.
I don't use PayPal, right? Wake her
I'm
up.
surprised you can
Give me
buy
the code.
anything
Give me the
on
code.
There's something really special about like those limited edition drops and being able to
Yeah.
get it. It sucks when you can't get one.
Which is most of
So,
the time.
Right. But
And I'm feeling good about that.
Pretty sweet piece.
all right. Today is a very special episode. We wanted to kind of blow it out, do something a little special, a little nicer for the end of the year. The last podcast of the season, maybe, possibly, something like that.
Ever, possibly.
Yeah, possibly
It
ever.
could be.
We'll see how
Yeah.
this one goes. It could be forever. So we wanted to kind of do this as like a live, not really live, kind of
Live-ish.
call-in show, and have some friends, have some fans, have some people we've never met before come on and ask us some questions, and we'll see. The beauty of the not live part is we can kind of cut it out. So, like if we'll fuck it up. I'm sure the listeners will bring probably.
Yeah, probably great questions. We'll just
questions.
fail to answer,
Yeah, we'll-
answer them in.
We won't do our part,
Yeah,
but we won't let anybody see us not doing our
of
part.
course. Yeah, it'll come off. When you see this is going to come off super professional.
Right. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's let
do
it
it.
roll, man.
Let's
Got
bring
peop-
who do
got
we
people
have?
waiting.
Who do we have up first? Let's bring them.
Brian Cruz coming on in.
Whole cruiser. I'm a little scared for this one.
I think he's going to be naked, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing Brian Cruz, I mean, he brings the energy.
What's up,
Oh, Brian Cruz from Cruisers Customs. What's going on?
man? Just winding it down for the day.
You guys heading out to SEMA?
We are.
Nice.
We're actually going to get to fly this year, though. We're not taking anything.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, it's a lot less stress.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot quicker transport too.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
So
How many of you guys got going?
We got like 2.5. One's already out there.
just a half.
Yeah, Good Guys is handling it, so it's there, done,
Yeah.
out of our hair.
Right on.
And then we got a Chevelle and the GN.
Cool.
Get
Very
close.
cool.
So what you got for us today, Brian? Now unfortunately, we didn't pre-read any of these questions. We don't know what.
Nor do we pre-read any of
No,
the
we
any
don't-
of the questions.
we don't know
No.
what's coming. So
His is actually to be determined.
yeah, we're a little nervous to see what Brian's bringing. But let's.
Well, I mean, I think I speak for a lot of the people in the industry with this question, and it's kind of two questions. It's loaded a little bit. But are you guys going to do the Roadster Shop party, and are you going to do the best on RS?
Oh, man, that's
Well, the thing is, this one's
Here-
probably
here's
going to
the
air
reason I
after
asked.
SEMA.
Oh.
So
yeah. You guys weren't there?
yeah,
No,
we did it.
it was fucking awesome, man. It was, yeah. So
Go ahead.
unfortunately, man, this year we are not going to be doing the party. We
Okay.
we still had our kind of hang-ups on it, whether SEMA is going to be returning back to what it was
Not now, but
pre-COVID.
10 months ago
Yeah, we had to.
when you have to start preparing for the party.
Correct. Yeah, things mellowed out since then, and honestly, I wish we would have went for it. But
Yeah, man,
it was
all good.
a lot of uncertainty there. Hopefully next year. I mean, I think we're moving back into some normalcy, and we'll blow it out next
Yeah,
year.
it's a monumental undertaking, and to want to continue to try to be better year after year, it would have been an even bigger undertaking. And that would have been, right around the first of the year to try and get everything going and planning. And at that point in time, there was a lot of uncertainty. So
Damn world we live in today.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, to back up that last party y'all did, you boys are gonna have to come with it.
yeah,
That
no,
was-
the T-Mobile arena was like booked. That's the problem.
Right, there was a Raiders game.
Yeah. We couldn't find a spot that we could land the helicopter. That was, that was a big hang up for me. I was planning on like dropping in, and
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. When Florida Georgia line broke up,
That could have been
geez.
the
right.
nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
right
there's-
there.
Exactly.
what are you going to do about entertainment?
But
Were you heartbroken over that, Josh?
No, I laughed and laughed and laughed. I thought it was funny.
yeah, because now they'll both have solo careers. It's twice the Florida Georgia line to listen to
Double,
for you.
double the listening.
Are they going to
pleasure.
split it up as Florida and Georgia?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
But hopefully we'll have now a year to plan, and we can do it justice and do it right.
Besides the alcohol, what did you enjoy about that? And you were sick
And
too. You showed up like about to die
did.
sick.
Yeah, I think I had COVID, honestly. I think
Appreciate you showing up to
that
the
shit
party with
started-
it.
Well, yeah, hell, I didn't know. But yeah, I was sick as hell. And
I remember that.
I know the feeling that gave me being a part of that and winning a best on RS, runner up deal. I mean, that was epic for me. It was killer.
Well, that thing deserved it for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate
next
that.
level car for sure.
We got a love-hate relationship, that car and I do.
They're all they're all that way, aren't they?
Absolutely.
But man, it was, intimidating for sure for me being in that room with all of those builders and, just the quality of stuff that they do and hell, being up on the stage with those other guys. I mean, it was awesome. And for somebody else to be in my shoes to do that again, that's the main thing, Yeah, sure, I like to party. Who doesn't? I mean, it was just that the whole best on RS deal and the leading up to it and all that jazz was awesome.
Well, it's good to hear that on a, honest conversation, to hear the other side, because we did it for the reasons we thought, was the right reasons, but you don't really ever hear. You hear a lot of good things the next day about 11 o'clock when everybody starts rolling in, and
Everybody's
hung
coming
over.
through.
And at that point, it's just kind of like, yeah, that was awesome. Well, yeah, we get that, but it is good to hear that, and who knows,
Yeah,
maybe it'll come back.
Well,
Stay
that's
tuned.
awesome. I mean, it's like I said, it was great. I think it'd be great for the industry. I mean, I looked at it as just as much credit as, to me, Battle of the Builders. I mean, of course, Battle of the Builders is awesome, but they didn't have no badass party like that.
that's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah, it was just an amazing feeling being amongst all your peers, guys you look up to. So much
Absolutely.
talent, so many bitchin' cars, and everybody lets their guard down. It's competitive, but it's not competitive. It is an awesome vibe. Like you said, just the feeling in the room. You said it was intimidating for you. You should see what it was like for us. I mean, we went there thinking this is going to be like we were going to be the nerdy kids at the high school prom. Like sitting in the corner and nobody's going to show up and like nobody's coming to our party.
Oh, man.
But
It's
was a hell of a time.
surreal moment. We were up. I mean, not to take too long. We were up on the steps at that latest venue, at the very top. When we were getting everything
Looking
going,
over.
and we looked over, and we were all three looking at each other like, you think that we could like come up with an excuse to cancel this? Because this is bad. Like, this is a huge place.
Start putting free drink signs outside.
Yeah, because you're
Las Vegas Boulevard to get
you're
people
scared
in.
to death that it's going to be a failure. But then fast forward to the heat of the moment, and that place is just packed, and
Yeah.
you see the line coming in. That it's very humbling on that side for sure. Well,
Yeah,
Brian,
man, it was nuts. I appreciate you guys having me,
For
and
sure, dude.
have safe travels heading to Vegas.
yep, see you in Vegas.
Good to see you, bud.
There.
Get
Thanks,
you a drink
man.
out there, man.
All right, guys. Take
Later.
care.
Appreciate
Later.
it.
All right, later.
Cam, what's up? All the way from Australia.
Good morning, guys.
That's what I was looking
In the
for.
future.
Man, that's good. How's it going, dude?
The future is good.
Yeah.
Oh, we've never met, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Owner operator detail. I've been going 12 years and just in regional Victoria down near Melbourne. And yeah, been listening to you guys since the first episode and love it.
And I tell you what, I
Thanks,
know
dude.
you're tired of hearing about this, but we don't get a lot of Aussies on the show. But I don't understand how his accent makes him sound like he knows what he's talking about. But my accent is the exact opposite.
Because you're from Alabama.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
from
I
Australia.
get that, but I'm
Right.
just saying an accent is an accent.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Yeah, mine
All
is
right.
like
Some are good, some are bad.
Yeah. You're surprised I've got shoes on when I'm talking. You know, he sounds like he's an engineer or something.
Yeah. Right. So you know. Right.
Yeah.
You know, I know. I
You're
100%
very-
understand.
You're a lot of
Beating
self-awareness.
a dead horse.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you got for us, Cam?
Not much. An easy one. I racked my head on what to ask and thought I'd go down there. Have you guys ever tried an Australian whiskey?
We have not.
Not,
I didn't know.
didn't know there was a such thing.
What's the difference?
Not much.
Yeah, I saw there was one when I was at liquor store down the street. There was something
Australian.
Australian. I don't remember the name.
Had a kangaroo on it.
Yeah,
Kookaburra licorice.
and my problem when it ventures outside of bourbon, like my bourbon collection is vast and out of control. And if I start, that's why I don't like mess with a lot of other liquors or like craft beers, because if I get involved in something else, number one, there's no room for it. Number two, it's just out of control. So
What would be a good Australian whiskey to start with, to try?
Ned, named after our famous outlaw and bushranger Ned Kelly.
is that
So
something?
that's a good one.
Is that something you can get here in the States? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm sure I could send you a bottle.
Oh,
We would absolutely give that a run and a review.
has it got like
I'll-
little bits of kangaroos in there, or what do they do differently in the?
I don't think that's.
No. We just
No?
ride them to work. We don't put them in the whiskey.
All right.
It's been lining up the Australian jokes here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bring them all. I'm used to them.
You gonna be going out to SEMA by any chance?
Not this year. I went 3 years ago,
Okay,
and I plan on going next year again.
awesome. You have to look us up when you get out there, man. Next year for sure. And who knows? From the previous question, maybe we'll do the best on RS again. We'll have to have Cam out and talk about our newfound love for Australian whiskey.
We'll trade you. We'll send you some good American bourbon in exchange.
Yeah, and
It
some
sounds like a deal.
RS swag as well.
Yeah,
Rep
shoot.
some
Sounds good.
RoadsterShop.
I'll
DM us an address. We'll send you something that's pretty solid.
very nice. I'll send you some Aussie food too.
It's
can
better not
try.
be Vegemite.
Well, that'll be in there, but you'll get tiny petties and all the
Uh,
other good stuff.
Awesome.
Tim Tams.
Awesome, Cam. Nice to meet you, and thanks for calling in.
You
And,
too.
Good question, man. It got you thinking. We're gonna start
Yeah.
seeking out that Australian
Wish
whiskey.
I had a
now.
better answer for that, but
Yeah. And no is an answer.
it is.
All
Thanks,
right,
man.
Cam, I
Good to meet you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Yo,
Mike Cook,
What's happening?
What's up?
what's going on?
Ending the day here at the shop.
I hear you. The world famous Mike Cook, son of Steve Cook from Steve Cook Auto Restorations out in OKC, right?
It's Steve Cook Creations.
For
The auto
Creations.
restoration student's different.
Steve Cook.
yeah, come on, that's disrespectful.
Amateur,
Right.
hour, amateur hour over here.
And what's up, dude? What do you got for us?
So the chick that's in the video with the white giveaway truck,
I know where this is
She
going.
like midgets.
Ah,
Are you allowed to say that?
he is.
I am.
Are you?
I don't know if you are, but I am.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the tag on my car says evil midget.
Right.
Like I have an Oklahoma license plate, evil midget.
Man,
We'll
I
have
don't
to reach
know.
out to her and see.
Yeah, I thought the question was going a different direction because there was some feedback about the, north of the neckline on that one. No,
Well, I thought it was awesome.
right? No, not going there.
I mean,
Here's the keys.
you're
I'm driving.
You're 4
Yep.
foot tall.
Well,
When you're 4 foot tall, you're eye level.
dude, this
Working
is
out well.
The
This
part
is
he's
true.
seeing was good.
yeah. I think that's probably
Yeah.
my because I'm just a little bit above that, not much, right? But I was disqualified, I think pretty quickly because I wasn't even there. But I feel like I should have experienced that. I could reach out to her, have Spencer hit her up.
How was your take on that marketing? We got some wide range of feedback on that.
I'm jealous that we don't get to do more stuff like that around here. Like we did a kind of pinup shoot with a couple of the cars for it was a calendar to raise money for something of some sort. But
So you did it for a good cause.
yeah, and this chick friend of mine came over with her photographer, and they used the Galaxy and my dad's 46, and it turned out cool.
That's awesome. So you I guess you wrapped up with the Royal Garage with Courtney and stuff. Are you glad that's over or looking forward to coming back? Yes.
There's a double-edged sword right there. I'm glad it's over. I've been watching the episodes. Will actually be here tomorrow, riding out to SEMA with him, and we're having a watch party here in Oklahoma City for the last of the 8 straight episodes they're showing. But it was different. It was hard. Obviously, timelines are way different than what we're all used to. So, knowing different budgets, me not ever knowing the budget was hard, but
Would that have mattered?
and Karen, oh, that's so pretty. And you're like, no, it's wavy and looks terrible. Like, it's not always as quite as reality as you think, but it's cool, It is fun going to like a local car show and just walking around and people are like, man, I bet you're tired. We just saw you on TV yesterday and now you're at our show. And I'm like, no,
I didn't do that
was filmed
yesterday.
Not yesterday.
It's not live. Oh, awesome. You got any big stunts planned coming up?
Jumping the cripple cart more at SEMA. It's definitely the biggest stunt coming up. No, just kind of playing it by ear. I do have a movie coming out in May.
Oh yeah.
It's Killers of the Flower Moon. I've never actually been in a movie before. Well, one that comes out in the theater.
Bringing the
that one took me. Took me a minute.
It's a thinker.
It'll be out. It's a Martin Scorsese movie with DiCaprio and De Niro in it. Super excited
check
about
that
that.
out. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
That is cool.
Thank you.
If you're gonna be out there at SEMA, we'll hook up, man. We'll have to
Let's
hang
do
out.
it. Yeah, I'll be riding around wherever.
Sweet.
We'll get you an answer.
That's
on
all
that
I got
question.
coming up. So
Yeah, we'll send some messages to the talent, and I guess we'll have to figure out how to best phrase that question.
I think you
Why
just
don't you
got.
why don't you send me a picture and I'll just say swipe left or right? I don't know which one's a good one.
I think George Strait wrote a song about it, and it was check yes or no.
Check yes or no. Yeah, we'll just send a little picture. Yeah.
that picture could be dangerous.
We'll see you soon, man. Come by and see us.
All right,
Thanks, dude.
See you guys
Later, man.
Later.
Bye.
The world famous Tim Palazzolo from Gap. Racing, industries, manufacturing, worldwide extraordinaire. What's going on?
Not much. How are you guys?
Doing
Good,
good,
man.
dude.
How about you?
Dude.
just getting ready for SEMA 2030, I think, is what we're trying to go for.
You'll still be late, you know.
If we start now, we may make it on time.
How's things, dude? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I am getting back into everything now that the building's done and we're finally getting staffing back and, you know, getting used to the parts delays and stuff. We're gonna be ready next year.
Nice, man.
How's
Yeah,
the new shop? Looks absolutely badass in social media.
It is not big enough, and it's like 3 times bigger than what I had before, which is crazy. You guys know.
it's funny how that works, isn't it?
Shops and
Yeah,
trailers.
Yeah, dude, I love
Yeah.
every time you post something, every time I see it come up, the fascia of that building's just awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it's got a look for sure.
Yeah, you got it going on. The new logo's super badass and
Thank you.
some
Yeah,
cool
we're
stuff, dude.
we just ordered another trailer because we sold our trailer last year to finish this building. So we ordered another 48-footer to go back to the good guy shows and got a bunch of big projects we're fixing to haul out. So that's why we changed the name too. I changed the name before we moved, but I wanted to wait till we got here and then officially like make the announcement because I didn't want people to think we just closed down the Gap Racing business.
Sure.
Sweet, man.
So-
What, you gonna be out to SEMA?
I may fly out, man. I don't know yet. We've had so much going on and just trying to get, you know, all this stuff in order. And I put a lot of the big projects on hold when we started the build of the new shop. So trying to get everything back in order, trying to get the flow of everything and get the guys, you know, ironed out and keep everything, you know, moving like it's supposed to.
Awesome.
So new trailers in place of using flatbeds to move cars, I'm assuming.
No, I mean, I had a 48-foot before, but we sold it. So now I ordered another one just to kind of, you know, yeah, flatbed.
Oh, you're
I
going with the new
got
Camaro.
yeah, no. Yeah. So like, that wasn't me. That was,
I know.
Look, that's one of the cars that was done. We weren't even working on it. So when the accident happened, so that's, yeah, that's all right. He's got a replacement coming. So it's cool.
Nice.
So man, I'm super glad you could hop on with us. Quite the honor. What do you have for us tonight? What question are you going to bring? Crossing fingers that this is
So
not going to be too difficult for
it's
us
kind
to
of,
answer.
it's kind of a SEMA question.
Okay.
I mean, being that a lot of the big guys are dropping out, do you think that they're going to have a lesser turnout, you think?
I don't think so as far as exhibitors. I mean, as far as attendees, I don't think that really weighs on
Yeah.
anything my end.
I mean, I think so. You know, not to get too like philosophical or deep on this, but last year was an odd year too. You know, it was everybody's talking about like, well, we're not going, we're dropping out, and then since this guy's dropping out, these guys are going to drop out, and we just stuck with it, and it was a hell of a good show.
It
You know,
was
the
awesome.
attendance was down, but the right people were there. People were buying, asking the right questions. It was easy to navigate the show. The show was actually like really, really. I mean, it went phenomenally well for us. I think this year it's going to be booming still. I mean, you're losing some of these big OEMs, but I don't know. I mean, do you really go there?
To look at the new
Yeah, for the sake of looking at
Chevy
like
Volt or whatever.
whatever the new EV Denali is, or it. I think it's going to be a hell of a good year. You're losing some vendors, but a lot of people have a lot of cars that have been waiting to show up.
Right.
Yeah, people are taking those places. It's not like there's going to be empty spots. You know, it's not like you got bare shelves. You know, they just,
What did we had Mike Spagnola on the other day, the head of SEMA, and he said they were at 85% of 2019 numbers.
yeah, they're
Something like that.
35% up over last year. I mean, like we said, last year was, you know, for an exhibitor and walk in the show, it was great. It was an awesome show.
Yeah, if you think like looking at it and thinking that they're just going to cut the Ford display outside where there's all the cars drifting around and doing awesome shit, it and just saying like, okay, Chevy's going to be gone, Ford's going to be gone. Those are just going to be holes. That's not what, you know.
Yeah,
They know what they're doing. You know, they're
eBay Motors and Hoonigan going
Right.
to be out front now. It's going to be, you're not going to miss those folks. You know, it's not going to be empty holes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. That's my personal opinion.
plus
be
from what
completely wrong.
I hear from talking to Mike and Jim Ring too, they're bringing enough cars to fill all those
Yeah.
voids.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll still be alive by the time they get them done, but yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be a good show.
Yeah. I
So
think
you
it'll be
guys, are y'all still doing the best on RS stuff like y'all were doing?
Wow, that's twice
Yeah.
tonight. That's
2 out of
second.
3.
I didn't hear it.
Not this year. No. Never know what the future holds. See what happens next year.
Yeah.
If it's something we're gonna do it big, and the stars didn't align this year for us to do it as big as we wanted to do it.
Right. Yeah, like Josh said, we
answer.
just talked about this. Another guest asked, and if you rewind like 10 months ago when we would have had to have started putting things in motion, at that point in time, it just didn't feel right. Today, like if I could, which I would usually just delegate this
know.
to
Yeah.
Josh to be like, hey,
Careful.
dude, you think like call around and see if you can like find a big.
I see that.
I was waiting for that
Yeah,
tomorrow. Too.
some
I got,
sort of
2
big bar,
people asking.
anything. Like,
I've been thinking.
yeah,
I think we can do this.
yeah. There's got to be an event venue big enough. But yeah, if I could make that decision today, I would absolutely have done the party. It just didn't feel right at the time when we had to make that decision.
Well, now you got like, the GM, since now they're not gonna be there, but I guess the GM Design Award's gone, the Ford Design Award's gonna be kind of gone, unless they're still doing that. But I mean, those are the big awards and then the good guy stuff, and then y'all's award. That's kind of the stuff that the builders
Yeah,
are
I
going
know,
after.
dude. We should have done it. Like
Yeah,
we
Keep rubbing it in.
Yeah,
we absolutely should have done it.
Yeah, the GM design's tough, and the Ford. I mean, that's always an exciting thing to be a part of, or just to be a spectator. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Hey, at the end of the day, they still serve alcohol out there. So even if it's a bad show,
It's Vegas.
Right?
Yeah.
Drink your sorrows away.
absolutely. Tim, I appreciate it, man. It's been awesome.
Thank
We're gonna have to do this
Thank you.
in a long format. Maybe have you on as a guest, or fly you out here and have you in studio for next season or something. If you're interested.
Let me know. I'm always down.
For sure,
Awesome.
dude.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all, guys. Thank you. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all later.
You too.
Thank you.
Here.
What's up, Mark? What a nice surprise. We got Mark from Creative Rod and Custom.
What's going on?
Aren't you building like 37 cars right now, and you get the time to sit
Yeah.
down and have a glass of whiskey with us?
Well, I don't have any whiskey, but I figured I'd drink a couple of beers, so that works, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
How's my Suburban coming?
Yeah. you know what's funny? I had I don't know if it was at Columbus or one of the shows we were at this summer. Somebody actually came up to me and said, "Why does Phil have you building his Suburban? Are they that busy?"
Yes.
And I was like, "What are you fucking talking about?" Like,
Yeah, Phil full blown like stake claim to that
I,
thing.
mean, I kept saying, like, dude, it seems so committed. Like, it's not yours.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my Suburban. You just haven't worked out the details yet.
I put things on the door handle to claim it.
yeah. Yeah, I was worried we weren't going to get back there for a little bit, so I'm glad it showed back up here.
Nice. So you've been cruising around. I follow your social media because I love the stuff you do. And I mean, Jerry's Model A is one of my favorite cars that's debuted this past year. You've been cruising that thing around, huh? You guys were just out on like a road tour deal with it?
Yeah, we went out to the gathering out in Oklahoma the beginning of the month, so that was a pretty cool experience, just cruising that thing and getting just my wife and I went, so it was nice. Just Jerry let us have the car for the weekend and just take it and drive it and enjoy it. So and that was actually my first time driving the car like that long of a distance. I've done a ton of 5-10 mile 20-mile type of things, but I've never put 100 150 miles on it in a weekend, and that was kind of cool to just do that. So but when we were down in Nashville with it, my wife and Jerry drove it, so they kind of knew like how it handled and how it drove a long distance. And it was kind of a little weird for me to finally get into it like a year later and actually drive it on that long of a trip in that and see how it handled and how it performed in that. So it was cool.
Nice.
How is that show out there, the gathering at the Rock? I keep seeing all these, photos posted. It looks fucking awesome. We've never been, and we keep.
Yeah, it was good. I think the thing for me is it wasn't your normal, I hate to say your normal good guy show in that. It's funny. I was actually talking to Mark Metters out there, and I bit my tongue from saying that when we were talking about the event.
I mean, no disrespect, right? But
yeah. But no, and that was just it. It was just nice we've done so many of the same shows year after year, and it was nice to just do something different for a change, I think. And so much of the focus was just on driving the cars, and I think that was what I hear you guys talk about like the road tours and all that, and we'd like to do one of them one day, and I think that was kind of the same thing. That was just about driving and enjoying the car, so.
Don't you feel like that kind of changes your outlook on things when you're like in the car for that length of time, and it's
No, it does for sure. And it's funny, like, to not ever having driven it that much distance, like I really didn't know what to expect of it. Like I knew, around town and that, and I was actually, I mean, that's a credit to you guys and the work you did on it. Like it drove incredibly smooth and well, so, and I kind of learned like where the sweet spot was in it, and it like hanging around at 58 to 65 miles an hour, like the thing was just awesome. Like if you got on it, like, you're doing 75, like it started getting a little funky in that. But, I think that's anytime you're dealing with a straight axle and a transverse spring in that, you tend to know you're going to deal with some of that stuff. So,
yeah, you've still got like 1929 technology. It's just
well,
nicer
I
looking.
think
You got a
we're a
contact
little
patch
bit
on
above
the back of
that.
that.
Sure. Yeah, dude, that's
Well,
honestly,
even like the friction shock setups on that car, like I had no idea if they actually, like, I mean, I know you guys designed them to work, but I'm like,
right.
these things work.
Look cool.
No, they did. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, I love every time I see a picture of that car pop up, even if it's not on your page, if it's just like in my feed, that thing just grabs me. It's
Yeah.
so well done, so well
Well, I
executed.
appreciate that. I mean, you guys had a huge hand in that project and everything you guys did on it. And it was just, it was such an awesome starting point for us to get and kind of roll with. So we appreciate that. So,
Absolutely, dude.
Appreciate it, man. You did the hard work. It's easy to
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah,
figure out
finishing
wherever.
it's tough. It's like, you can make everything look good in pictures when it's in bare metal. You
Yeah.
DA it a little bit,
Right.
stuff it, and,
yeah.
you knocked it out of the park.
Making the car work is a little more difficult. So what do you got for us tonight, Mark?
I had to kind of throw a couple of questions around, but I think one of the things, for me this year, like 2023, I'm going to be in business 20 years, and that's like a milestone for us. And it seems surreal, but I know you guys, we're all around the same age. Maybe Josh, you're a little bit older, right? So
Yeah, significantly older.
Yep.
But for me, it's one of those things where, like, one of my questions was, what kind of drives you guys? What keeps you motivated every day? And you're on a lot bigger scale than we are, but just coming into the shop, like it's so monotonous sometimes of dealing with the same employee, the same customer, the same kind of bullshit every day. And it weighs on you a little bit, and I just kind of want to know what drives you guys forward in that. And if that makes sense, like,
Yeah.
what do you just?
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's like an evolution. It's changed a lot over the years. I mean, I started doing this where my hands were like physically on it. I mean, I'm building cars and physically doing the work, and it was always, I mean, the drive was to be the best at that point. Like I mean, granted, to be the second best, right? So nobody's gonna.
Troy.
You got Troy
Yeah.
Japan, you're right. If we could come in like second, great.
Yeah.
And whether we got there, I don't know, probably not. But I had like just a relentless drive for building something that stands out. Um, Over the years, as the business has grown, and I feel like the business kind of grew partially as a result of that, of just focusing on making stuff really cool. And the byproduct of that was that the business kind of started growing. At this point in time, I mean, to be honest with you, not like blowing smoke like up your ass, but it's what drives me now when I see things like the AMBR car that was at uh, Columbus,
Yeah.
um, seeing Jerry's Model A, the reaction of Jerry, uh, building a survivor car for a guy like Lance, that like 68 Chevelle, and listening to his response and the feedback. I feel like maybe I've got like a desire to like to please,
Please.
and it's very cool to me to be able to build stuff for guys that are on like a very high level and please them, add something to their project because it's very difficult to just be the best, right? Like because you're not gonna beat fucking Troy,
I know,
right? Right?
It's not possible.
Yeah. So that's that. But that's honestly that's what does it for me. I love the creativity, um, working with the engineering team, and it's not like success is really a byproduct, I feel like, of like your passion,
What about you, Phil?
I'm gonna go with finding new challenges and everything. I don't get to do a lot of the fun, exciting stuff like they do, but um, setting goals and getting things done and having, I think, that sense of accomplishment when you finish it and stand back and able to see it working and doing what you thought. Then there's a little bit of a down period, get into like kind of that funk bad mood of trying to come up with the next thing or the next shit that landed in your lap that you have to solve. But kind of turning that into a
Yeah.
challenge and figuring out a way to make that function and work. And then it just seems like there's always another challenge to overcome, another thing to tackle, and just keep moving
Well,
forward through it.
it's kind of like what I find with the day to day. Like I've kind of like Jeremy said, I've transitioned out from not working the shop as much to running the business. The more employees we hire, the more customers we have, and now it's like I find it's almost more important for me to be in the office every day running the business and dealing with that stuff than actually being in the shop. But that's just it. It's like every day, it's like what's somebody going to throw on my lap today? What type of shit, like you said, are you going to have to deal with? There's a constant challenge. And I mean, it is fun sometimes trying to deal with that and solve that problem. But other times it's just like, I mean, there's definitely days where you're like, oh, fuck, I got to go to work again today. Like, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
It's
just,
just, I mean, it's we talk about it on the podcast all the time. It gets brought up pretty much in every episode.
Right.
It's a hamster wheel because you're constantly chasing perfection. And no matter what it is, the car build or the business side or not, you're chasing perfection. Perfection can never be reached. But if you've got the mentality that you're constantly chasing perfection, then it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the organization of the files in the office to dealing with the customers or the processes that it takes for billing or building of the cars. Perfection is never going to be reached. But if you're always chasing perfection, then your drive is always there. There's always going to be problems. We can all get on here on a podcast and talk about how it's fucking run perfect and everything's great and there's never an issue. But there isn't. There is issues. And there's always going to be issues that pop up no matter how good of a job you do. So striving to constantly solve those issues, I guess, is, at least for me, that's what the drive is. But you also know that the thing that you're pushing so hard for quite possibly will never be reached. But you're just okay with running on that hamster
Sure.
wheel. Like that's
Oh yeah. No, I think this is quite possibly the best question that's been asked, like period, on this podcast, because it's a question that I like to ask. Like we just had George Poteet on, and I asked him the exact same question. I mean, George is a wildly successful, accomplished guy, and so curious, a guy his age, like what gets you out of bed every morning to keep pushing. And I ask, I've got some friends that have done great things, very successful, and I ask the same question because it's super cool to know what pushes people, and it's helpful,
yeah.
but I feel like it resorts back to that quote,
That's what I
the
was gonna say, the Rocky
yeah,
quote.
it's the greatest quote. I said it in the speech at my father's funeral. um and it sounds a little funky because it's from Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, because I'm a fucking Rocky fan, right? But he always said that it's not about how hard you can hit, but about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you
Yep.
can take and keep moving forward, because it's so easy every day. Like you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
So like if you can walk in the door and like knowing that you're gonna get your ass kicked and still do it, then you're
That's right.
good, man. You're like, and I'm sure you know all about it.
Oh yeah,
especially
no,
like,
that's it. That's just it. It's like some days you go in just wondering what problems they're gonna find you, or
right.
it's just
And
the way.
quitting's the easiest thing.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it's
that's
so easy to do.
coming
Well,
out
like
of
you
the
said,
other
I
side.
enjoy like even customers of ours and that they're in different businesses. Like I love talking. I just love with people that are in business and successful in business, and just picking their brain on things. And I feel like you can learn so much from that. So and then that's the stuff that in one way pushes me, to hear how other people have dealt with, different things. And I always enjoy talking with other shop owners too. And that I know Jesse Green and I were talking about that one day, just with, business in general. And it's like,
Sure.
it's so interesting to hear how everyone in this industry, there's no standardized way to run a hot rod shop. You know what I mean? And it's just, everyone does something a little bit different. And it's interesting to just see how people do things and run things and that. So
Absolutely. But I mean, honestly, you've got to build a team of like solid dudes, because like you can only take so much abuse. So if you're taking all those fucking punches, you can only take so many. So you got to have a few other guys,
well,
because
yeah, and that's
it's like you're getting jumped, right? So you got to have a few other guys
Yeah,
that can
got
take
your
a few
back.
of those shots, that have your back, and you got to build an awesome team. And that's something that we have here, and it that helps me get out of bed and get to work every day, knowing that there's there's some other guys here that I can lean on too. If
Yeah, they're gonna help deal with
Yeah,
some of the stuff
for
we
sure.
buy. So yeah, and like for us at a small scale, there's only 5 of us in the shop right now. So, and I'm the one that deals with most of all that shit every day. So
Oh yeah,
my wife's in the office every day to help me with it, but it's just it's
it
yeah,
doesn't honestly though, dude. It doesn't matter like whether it's 5 guys or 500. As soon as you have more than one, like
yeah,
As long as you're
it
not Dave Lane.
yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah, if Dave Lane had issues, then he's got psychological issues, right?
Right.
If he's having problems with one of his employees,
I don't know. He had a good. That seems like the great retirement plan for me is just
Oh
go.
yeah,
It seemed like he had it pretty good. So
for sure. Yeah, awesome question though, man. That's
Leave it to Mark to
yeah,
bring some heat.
for sure.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, feel free to reach out
I
if you got
appreciate
any questions on running the business side or anything. I know it's a lot of guys focus only on the creative side and building the cars, but
yeah,
we have a good relationship between me and my brother where he can handle that side, I can handle the front side, and a lot of hot rod shops don't,
Right.
and managing the front
Well,
side
that's
is
where
where you
the
get all your
business
money.
side has been like, I knew how to work in a shop, but running a business, and I was 19 when I opened the shop, so that's been like just kind of for a lot of years flying by the seat of my pants, and then you noticed after 10, 15 years, things were like, and I hate to say it even took that long, but like things were finally working and getting, now going on almost 20. It's like, all right, this is finally like we're in a good spot, and but it's just after 20 years of doing something every day, you're like, man, this is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil's over here like giving out trade secrets because he's the secret weapon,
Yeah.
realistically, because we're all, everybody in this industry, we're all a bunch of hot rod builders, right? We're just fabricators that build really cool shit, but you got to have somebody that's got the business vision, the business sense.
Yeah, the sense to do
Or
it.
just knows math. I mean, that's a start.
I do, math,
Yeah,
division.
I can't do fractions at
Yeah.
all, so that's
You
all.
can't
them.
do Excel though.
He can.
I know,
Right?
that's what I'm saying. Well, we'd love to have you on for a full-time guest
Oh.
maybe next season.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that'd
for
be
sure.
awesome. I
We'll
appreciate
have to
that.
get you down here in studio. Get
Yeah, I
you
was
off
gonna,
that craft beer and onto some like whiskey, put a little hair on your chest.
This is good stuff here, I was gonna open up with where's my RS4 chassis at? So I'll have to when I come pick that up, I can stop by.
Yeah, come pick it up.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, well, all those are things that we can talk about later off there.
All right,
awesome,
well, I
man.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Mark.
bud. It's great catching
Yep.
up.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Later.
Sweet.
What's up, mother flowers? How's the grind?
We can't see your beautiful
we can't
faces.
see you.
Come on,
do you mean?
you got to
What do you mean you can't see us?
turn the camera
Push
on.
the camera button.
Oh,
there you
we
are.
go.
long time
Yes.
fan, first time players.
What's going on, fellas? What a beautiful surprise.
What's up, guys?
No doubt, dude. What's up with you?
Fuck, just chill. This is the highlight of our evening, is you boys.
Stop. Keep going.
Oh.
Don't you guys have like
everybody?
Don't you guys have like 36 fucking cars to get done for SEMA or something? You got time to
Yeah, so we need to make this fucking clear.
Yeah.
we got
All right, let's
shit to
go.
do.
Let's go.
You got the energy.
Firing the last two cars, we are actually putting ignition to them right now. Between now and about an hour and a half from now, we should have both of the last two started.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got a lot shorter drive to SEMA though, so it's kind of unfair. You're only like a couple hours away. We got a 3-day drive.
That sucks. Yeah, we're about six and a half.
I'm actually
hours.
gonna drive to Texas and then back to Vegas just make it fair.
To make it an experience.
Just
We
to level
appreciate
the
that.
playing
Well,
field.
the road
Road
to
a
SEMA.
long way. Yeah, we didn't have enough drama and all-nighters this year, so he's going to make up for it for going an extra long distance.
Nice.
And those fucking CF1s are absolutely awesome. I keep seeing more of them pop up on your Instagram and stuff like that. And
There are going to be some out at
I'm saving
SEMA?
saving my pennies
Yeah,
one
can we
day.
just like get one that kind of
I'm gonna have
off
one.
the back of the truck, maybe trade you for.
Well, they got a real nice chassis on them, to say the least. So they're selling like hotcakes, guys.
They're multiplying around here. It's like crazy. It's like those gremlins when you get them wet after midnight.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
come in the next day and they're just all over the place. It's
Yep.
ridiculous.
it's so funny. Literally, we have 7 or 8 of them in house right now, and it's like you walk and you're like going, I thought the windshield was already on. It's like, wait, no, that's number.
that's
So
the
my
difference.
daughter actually went through and made birthday hats with the car number on each one and sat them on the dash so that everybody working on the car so we can record how much time is on each car. So they've had to do that. So it's just funny. It's a new problem for us to have something going on that's repeated over and over, but they're all different colors. And you really don't know what car you're working on until the very end when the interior and exterior is done. And you're like going, okay, it's kind of hard to forget which one that is. So yeah.
Awesome.
Enough about us. What about yours? What about your road to the SEMA show?
We're
Shouldn't you guys be
rolling good.
driving about now?
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, we're hitting the road. So I'm sitting up here because John's down there thrashing on button up a Chevelle. And yeah, hopefully that fucker's in the trailer tomorrow morning. And then
Nice.
we got a Grand National that's ready to roll. That thing's
Nice.
dude, we're fucking ahead of the game. I don't know what are you
We
guys
got one
doing?
car's already
Like,
in Vegas.
yeah, what are you guys doing fucking around? Like this
So
Grand
you already have a
National.
car in Vegas, you said?
Yeah,
Been there for weeks.
right. The customer's already had the GN. He's been ripping it. We brought it back, just touching it up, polishing it up. You know,
Dude,
that's the way we do things.
That
There's
Chevelle's
Oh,
not
my
done.
bad.
It's
My bad.
all-
You're jinxing.
way ahead of schedule,
You're
dude.
jinxing yourself.
Oh, the
Right.
Chevelle work. Yeah, that one's down to the wire. No doubt
You
about
know
it.
what? And I'll tell you what, you guys have been around for a long time and you know, we're 23 years this year as well. We found it was odd. We left last night at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Last week, nobody worked any real big overtime. They come in a little early, maybe stay an hour and a half late. A couple of them. The polishing guys pulled a real late night one night until like 11. Not an all-nighter. It's just weird compared to where we used to be to where we're at right now. We're taking 7 cars. We're starting the last 2. We have a couple of small details on 2 others. And other than that, we're just doing final polishes, putting the covers on them and bagging them, getting ready to load them all in the trailer.
I think that, I mean, my plater called me today and said, hey, the last of your stuff is done. And I was like, it's Tuesday, bro. I mean, we're normally 3 or 4 days, and then we're waiting for the last piece of chrome to come in so we can get it on the car.
Dude, you find those efficiencies as you get older. We're the same way. You know, we were here Saturday, Sunday, but it was just polishing, which I don't do any of that. So I'm here for moral support. Other than that, I mean, it's, you know, yeah,
Both.
right. But yeah,
Sorry about my dog.
right. We're not, nobody's working through the night, but efficiency.
You get a
Yeah,
little,
I
a
agree.
little smarter.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it took 23 years for us to work that much smarter. It didn't really take harder work. It just took smarter work. And we finally figured it out, you know? And, you know, 7 cars is nothing to just turn your nose up like that's not that big of a deal. How many cars you guys got going?
8, no big deal. It's not that big of a deal at all.
No big deal.
I just turned my nose up.
No big deal.
Hey, remember?
Yeah.
Describe the truck. We got to at least match them if we don't beat them.
We've got
Oh, I thought you guys were only taking 6. That's why we're taking 7.
we got 3 going out there.
Yeah.
One's the good guys truck. It's already good guys brought it out already. It's out in Vegas, but so realistically 2 that we're working on.
Nothing like 7.
You guys are rock stars, man. It's crazy every year to see what you guys do.
Well, we're excited. In fact, I think everything, every single build is your chassis. Every single one of them.
Yep.
Hey, dude, that's awesome.
Hey,
Yep.
that hat worked. That hat worked.
You got a hat?
Dave, you wouldn't want to cover up that hair.
Huh.
They don't make hats this shit.
That's right. You wouldn't put a hat on this head.
No, you won't cover. That's gorgeous hair.
This hair is cool.
Man, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on and doing this. This is awesome. We've got a great relationship, and for you to take the time out to come and do this is absolutely awesome. We're changing
So
the tables up a little bit. You got something you want to ask us?
We have lots of stuff. Oh, yeah, we got lots of stuff to ask you. When's the next chassis coming? I need to get a rear end for the number 8 chassis and some CD shafts from you.
Okay, done. The new chassis will ship. They're going to ship when they ship, and then the rear end, no problem. We'll take care of that.
Do you have an old one?
Sure.
Was it
Cool.
center
We'll
center
figure that
section?
out.
We'll talk later. What
We'll
else?
figure that out.
Yeah, via email.
What has been your highlight of this year so far? I mean, car guys kind of go, at least for me, I kind of go from January to SEMA. Anything after that, it's winter. You know, so what's been your highlight of this year so far?
That's a good question.
It is.
What has been your highlight, guys?
Man,
You go first, Josh. You skipped the last 1 or 2, I think.
yeah. That way I can listen.
Yeah, it's a narrator doesn't have to. ask.
I can listen to you, and then I can like make it a little bit better.
Highlight
Yeah.
of the year this year.
Yeah.
favorite build, a great vacation, a great road
Wait,
trip.
but I know that
One of the best
I know
shows.
he just dropped your daughter off, right?
Yeah, that wasn't a highlight taking my daughter to college though. That was
It's a little
Okay,
that
well,
was,
again, I don't
that
know
was
how that
probably
goes.
the
I've never done that before.
that was probably the saddest time of the year.
Okay, fair. Let's not
That
bring
or
that up
the
anymore. I'm sorry.
Alabama-Tennessee game. That
Oh,
could be a highlight for
yeah,
you.
that we're not going to talk about college football on here. That sucked.
I just want to watch you
Highlight
cry.
for me would be when we took a bourbon trail trip to Louisville
Oh, nice.
in the middle of summer.
Nice.
It was fun. I got ridiculed nonstop for it, but it was a great time.
You got ridiculed?
Yeah, I had a scooter wreck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
oh yes. Oh, we had a
Yeah,
horrible.
that's-
Yeah,
I think that could be unanimous for all of us.
It was the
The
greatest
highlight of the
it was
year.
the greatest trip of the year, and also provided the most like getting made fun of for the whole entire year.
Oh
The
yeah.
highest of the highs
Yeah.
Well,
and the lowest of the lows.
yeah, dude, you've seen those super bike wrecks, right? Where those dudes just like skid out for like miles and their bodies are all like. Imagine that. Imagine that, but a
13
dude,
miles an hour.
yeah, a dude wearing like a jacket, smoking a cigarette, and like just wearing a hat, right? No padding. Like, it's
On a pink Vespa.
right. Oh, fucking!
pink
It was,
Vespa.
well, it was one of those rentals, right? We're out in Louisville, Kentucky, so it's one of those
Oh.
like, you get the app, rent it. So that 100% highlight of my like year, probably the decade. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just watching Josh
I've seen-
almost fall to his death.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Yeah.
Here's the honest truth. I've literally, I don't know if you've wrote it since, but when we bought my wife Chevelle when we were at Columbus about what, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
they challenged my wife and Kevin's girlfriend at the time had told us, get on these things. They're so much fun. I'm like, God, I don't want to get on them. All I ever see is videos of people eating shit on them, right?
Yep.
So we get on them, and that was a good experience because we A, didn't eat shit. B, we ended up the wrong way in the parking lot and found that Chevelle, and I ended up buying for her. That I've got a really nice chassis to put under. Thank you very much. But every time I ever see anything with those scooters, somebody's eating shit. That's not a good way to sell your product, is to have people eating shit on it, right?
Oh,
Yeah, they're
Unless
dead.
you're selling helmets
Are you
and
gonna-
saving lives.
Did anybody get said video of this?
Unfortunately, not.
no.
No, I can't talk a lot about it. I've got a class action against the Lime scooters because it's honestly they shouldn't sell those things. I mean,
Or there should be an age maximum age limit.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's a poor design.
Outside of
Support
the
design.
outside of the awesome scooter wreck, to bring it back to like the hot rod
Car shit.
shop, I'd say that we're bringing this Grand National out for SEMA, and that car to me is probably the highlight of my year. It's one of those cars. You guys know when you like build something and you build a lot of stuff and it's all good, right? But
Right.
when you get in something that makes you just like smile, like you're by yourself,
Or giggle.
you're accelerating, like the way it takes a bump, the way it accelerates, the way it goes around a curve, and you're like, you just like kind of giggle and laugh because it's just fucking awesome.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
No,
that.
that's cool.
Right. That's that car. It's loaded with all sorts of cool shit that, it's not like a show car. It's something that works, performs. We've
That's fucking
crashed
right.
on
That's
it. But
cool.
yeah, it's something that if I'm happy with it, then that's good for me,
When you sit in it, do you go? Is it a customer's car?
Yeah.
You go. I'm gonna see if I can buy this off him, or
I
get
can't
one, or
fucking
go-
afford that one.
You never know. Like, I'm the same. I'm the same as you. I'm the
Right.
same as you.
That one's out of my price range.
But he only lives 5 miles away. So.
Yeah, and he's fucking awesome, man. Awesome customer. So yeah, we
Nice.
get to rip it. So yeah, I'll
Yeah,
get my
awesome.
fix.
What about you, Phil?
Awesome.
Before we go, what's your highlight of the year?
Ooh, I don't know. Hot rod shop side is a tough one. Personal side, I think my son is 8 and he's been working, trying to make a travel baseball team, which is
Oh,
again
wow.
highs and lows. So we did a lot of practice in and worked with him a whole bunch, and he made his travel baseball team. So that was super exciting for him to make.
Nice.
And
That's kick ass.
yeah, cool to
Cool.
see him stick with something, put the effort into it, get the reward at the end.
I thought you were
There you
gonna
go.
say my son's 8 and he finally started watching Bitchin' Rides.
Dude, no, that's my
Yeah.
son. So that's what he's gonna grow up to be, a fucking derelict, because he watches bitchin' rides and he
Yep.
watches all the Roadster Shop YouTubes and he listens to the podcast. And so
Well,
he's
the next
he didn't make
generation
the
of
travel team.
degenerates.
Yeah, no
I-
hope.
the other night we were watching an episode. I forgot which one it was, and my daughter's in there, and I was like, "Hey, man, check that out! It's a Roadster Shop chassis underneath that car." Huh, cool. Walks right by, goes upstairs.
yeah.
Come on.
You guys definitely.
Hashtag not impressed.
You guys definitely make me.
hard these days,
You
right?
guys definitely make me feel cool on the home front though, because like when I can be like, I know those dudes to my son, he thinks that's like, I mean, you guys are fucking movie stars, right? So for him, it's like that's really cool.
In
you know,
serious business though, before we get off, I want to say thank you again and hats off to both of you guys, because we do a lot for a lot of guys that have shows and have stuff like this. You guys have held strong and have always made sure that there's at least a Roadster Shop logo. They're talking about the things versus just flat out hiding it and acting like it was just a chassis that it showed up out of fucking thin air. So absolutely hats off to you guys for always taking care of us when you can, and we reciprocate that as well.
Well, that and I mean,
we appreciate it.
your guys' integrity and how true to yourselves you guys have stayed. Like, anytime it ever comes up, I'm always like, yeah, dude, those are the dudes that are on TV. Like that's them. Those fucking guys are just
no personality. I brought it up before too. You're the same assholes like 10 years ago when we knew you as you are.
Yeah,
today.
you guys are still fucking assholes.
Oh, I mean,
But very,
I'll take that.
but very few things have changed, and that's what we've always tried to. Oh, hang on one second. Is it time for makeup?
Yeah.
Makeup.
There's a distance over here. And you know, and a couple other things have changed. You know, people said this like treats all the time.
That's right. But you know what? Nothing means anything as much to us as our friends at Big Time Diecast. That's right. Big Time Diecast. So how to put a car together properly to be like Kindig. Check out the jewelry box.
I thought the pink feather boa was gonna like put you over the top, but
Yeah,
really
but
it hasn't gone to your head.
Yeah,
It's
he used
just
to wear that.
No, absolutely not. You know, I mean, we've, you know, that's why I keep the awards back here. Is I haven't won any for like 3 or 4 years. I got to make myself feel like I'm still doing my job.
I will say
So-
we've got a picture of your old office that looks a little different than your
Me
current.
too. Whoa. just keep it. I'll sign it when I see it.
I told him the same thing. I said, this office is just so cold. The other one was
I know.
so warm and classy.
Well, you know, I had a lot of skin showing in here. It was pretty crazy. We had to bring it down a couple of notches.
Guys, I appreciate it. I know you got work to do. We'll see you out there at SEMA. We're gonna have to grab a few beers.
Hey, I got plenty on the truck. Come by and say hi.
Awesome,
Appreciate
man.
it, fellas.
Thanks, boys.
Take care, guys.
Later, guys.
See you down there.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
What's up, fellas?
How are you?
What's going on?
Dude, that's a hell of a
I'm
backdrop.
doing good. Yeah, well, you know, it's SEMA, right?
Yeah. Cheers, man. Looks like you got the same glasses we do. We got these awesome.
Imagine that.
Yeah, these awesome paint house tumblers here.
We are in the cool kids club, or at least you guys are.
We are.
Yeah.
We absolutely are.
I'm a temporary member.
What's going on, man? That is a badass backdrop.
Yeah, well, it's just my old garage here. We did some faux painting and made it into it's actually where we put them together, but once in a while we take photos here.
Nice. So you're
So
thrashing.
that's what I'm doing. I got the big camera out and trying to act like John Jackson.
Yeah. So you're thrashing for
Nope.
SEMA, huh? And we conned you into taking a
Oh.
few minutes out of your
Dude,
busy day to
SEMA's
jump
the
on
eas-
this podcast.
Today SEMA's the easy part, man. This whole Andy Leach Buick, you know about the Buick. I think you guys talked about it before. The color has been kicking my butt. I have invented a color I can't paint. So
That's every color for us.
way to go, painter. Way to go, guy that sells colors for a living.
Yeah.
Just spray it as it comes out and then rename it. That's easier.
There you go.
Well, it would be
Speckles.
called model green or something like that.
Call it that, dude.
Start a new trend.
Seriously.
Splotcherific.
Is that marble? Yep, just like it. Out of the gun, though.
You got it.
You
Right.
try
Somebody's.
that.
Marbleizing was an accident, man. It had to be.
That's like these survivor cars we do. You just got to embrace it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. it's
Oh,
just old
indeed,
paint.
indeed. But you know where this car was supposed to go, and it won't be allowable on this car.
Yeah. No, that car's over the top. I mean, I've seen little bits and pieces, and that's got to be super cool to be a part of it. You know, on the level that you are, that thing's going to be really.
Yeah, well, it
really
is.
awesome.
It was an honor to be asked, and me and two of the guys jumped in the truck and drove up to Nebraska and spent a week body working on it. Borrowed or threw it in Andy's trailer, drug it back down here, and we're trying to get it painted. And last night we had a big storm come through, and today my paint booth quit.
Oh.
So I can't even paint if I wanted to today. So
Damn.
it kind of lowered the pressure, whether I like it or not, because I can just set Andy's car aside for a few days, focus on this SEMA thing, and hit it when I come back.
Nice. And that's going to be that's a Grand National Roadster Show debut. Is that?
Yeah,
that's
what is it called? The Slonaker
Yeah,
Award,
yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's one that
That's what they're attempting for.
everybody's got to check that out. I'm excited to see that one. It's been on my radar for years.
It's such a weird car, but in a cool way.
Oh yeah.
And it's huge. I can barely reach out to paint the damn deck lid. You know, I'm not a tiny guy, but you got to have some long arms to paint that thing.
And you get to cut and buff that thing too?
We will cut and buff it, which is I'm kind of a sicko. That's one of my weird pleasures in life. I enjoy that part. Kind of where the magic happens.
How do you like Illinois? Like, it's beautiful, dude. You should. It's beautiful here. The fall, man. The changing of the seasons. You're a Texas guy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, just do like Andy does. Just tell him to come get it.
I'll tell you, I am a winter guy. I love the winter, but what I love most is mountains, and you guys need a couple of those.
Well,
we've got a sledding hill.
We've got a hill. We've got weather. We've got snow. We've got a shit ton of guns. We got a place to shoot. We got whiskey. We got cars. I'm telling you, I know those are all things you're into.
You are correct. You are correct. If I could, I'd move my shop to Montana, but who can afford that place these days?
Yeah. Who'd have thought that place would be priced out of existence? So Randy, I know you're busy. You got to get back to being, doing your living, not just, fucking around with three dumbasses drinking some whiskey. Super impressed and humbled that you could come on and ask us something. So what do you have for us tonight? We're changing the tables. Instead of us asking the questions, you're asking the questions.
Oh, this may be an odd one and just way deep in the weeds, but I've always been curious about it. When you're building your chassis, I know you guys build these beautiful square corners. Your chassis are art. There's no doubt about it. However, how do you know when there's too much metal gone? I know you go back and grind on them. How do you know? How do you know there's enough left?
So you're talking about like our fast track frame rails. You're looking at the penetration.
When you square them up and make those corners nice and sharp, it's beautiful to look at. But I've always wondered, how do you know what's left structurally?
Sure.
To make sure you've got a sound foundation, that it ain't going to split or crack or have an issue, which I don't think has ever happened, but I've always been curious about that because I'm not a welder.
Sure. So
explain the process.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to unpack there. It largely lands on wildly skilled welders, right? So what we do, it's very hands-on. It requires a tremendous amount of talent and engineering, right? So when those are engineered, we set all the weld gaps on the engineering team. They key them all together, so you don't have the ability to like mismatch a corner fit. So we've got like a perfect, inside corner fit that leaves just a flawless little weld gap right in there for penetration. So we run Miller welders, 252 MIGs typically, and it, like I said, skill.
But where the real the talent also comes in is after it's welded,
right?
And that grind,
of course. So we've got a unique weld process in a sequence that we do. We tack it in certain increments. We put it on the jig and we jump around as we're welding that. But it depends on that dude, right? So he's sinking it in, right? It's a proven weld setting. It's a proven weld technique. And when you fit it up the way that we fit it up, it's not like if you're grinding into the material, like you're never going to take off too much material unless you dig in, right? You can roll the corner of a grinder off and like eat into it, but the way we do it, you're not going to experience that. So years and years ago, when I used to nibble them out by hand, and everybody else used to nibble them out by hand, and you'd fit them up and you'd have something that sits proud, and you'd kind of fudge it a little bit, right? And you'd come back with a cutoff wheel and you'd just dig it out. I mean, you could potentially have issues. You're grinding it and it was laid out by hand. It wasn't engineered to be perfectly square. there's a margin of error there, but there's really there's no margin of error. So
You're
Okay.
only grinding the weld, not the actual
Right.
10 gauge
Yeah,
steel.
you
The
take the
weld,
weld down.
yeah,
Yeah.
the welds build up extremely
Right.
proud
So
of the metal.
it's no different than block sanding, you know, I guess. You're bringing down the high spot, but not going below that and digging in.
Exactly. I mean, so if you were to look at that frame rail, you could very easily take like, just a small 3-inch like stone wheel or a flap wheel or something on an electric grinder, and you could hold it perpendicular to the frame rail, and you could just knock that weld down, right? Until just the weld's down.
Right.
And at the
Right.
end of the day, that frame rail is going to look like shit. You're going to knock the weld down. You can knock it down flush, but it's not going to be pretty. But what the guys do in the frame rail shop, I mean, it's a damn art form. What they can do with a 9-inch grinder, a 7-inch grinder, a barrel sander, you bring that whole weld down until the weld's just about flush. Then you make a pass, your final pass with a fresh disc, where you just knock that weld down to the base material. And really all you're doing
Right.
on that base material is just putting that perfect half round pattern in it. And what's super cool is when you take like you've got a 9-inch grinder, so you're only running on, maybe, I don't know, 3 inches of the pad on that of that disc. And when you're doing a 6-inch rail, like a pickup rail on the side, it's a damn art form when you come across it on the first 6 inches of that grinder across the top. You flip that grinder around and you come across the bottom and you're doing it blind and you're arcing that back up, and then you drag one nice
Right.
pass right down the middle and you connect that mark, and it literally looks like you just fed that thing through
Right.
like a 10-inch disc sander.
A big belt sander or something.
That just perfectly lays out grinding marks on it, and it's
To relate it to your world, I mean, it'd be the same thing as, I mean, peak
Like
peak
not
of a
burning the sharp edge
yeah
of the
peak of a 69 Camaro, or that vet highlight line. You're gonna, if you fine line it, with it while you're doing 6,000-8,000 or something like that, or pull it off and then you start going to 12. How do you know when there's still enough material on that peak? Because you know
Right.
how many times you've hit it, and you've stayed
Right.
stayed off of it through 6,000-8,000, and you're going to start just barely nipping the edge at 12, or whatever. It's unfortunately
Right.
it's the same kind of thing. It's the artist
Right.
part of it.
But for us, we know that it's 10 gauge steel. You may not know if somebody else sprayed it if it's got 2 coats of clear, or like 8 coats of clear. So
Yeah. I'm not telling.
yeah, we're dealing with the same material every time.
Oh, that was
Well,
a
that's
that was a really
good.
good question.
Well, it's just something I've always been curious about, and we never can seem to connect at these shows. So I'm glad you invited me on.
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Well,
man.
you going to be out there at SEMA?
Yes, sir. We'll be there Saturday through Friday.
Come by and see us at the booth. We'll have to hang out afterwards and after hours,
right,
of
cool.
course, and beer drinking time or whiskey
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
time.
All right, cool.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Randy.
Love it.
Thanks, man. And thanks
Thanks,
for the
guys.
glasses,
Cheers.
dude.
Yep. Yeah, we
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Indeed.
Cheers,
Take
buddy.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, fuck.
There's a lot going
Yeah.
on there, dude. You've got
Yeah.
diamond stitch, which is, I mean,
Which
fucking
is cool.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, Josh's Hummer's loaded with it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you've got both Mr. Florida and Georgia Line. I would assume that's who that is.
Yeah,
Are they
in the background?
brothers and their last name's Line?
Well, I was saying that I tried to find a dorky Miata racing picture, but they were all kind of badass, and there are plenty douchey pictures. So, want you guys to know that I'm listening, okay?
Nice, man.
Miatas for the win.
You are. Hey, we've been going surprise after surprise, and Cody, you're another surprise. So tell us a little about yourself. We obviously don't know each other.
Yeah,
I
man.
can tell that you've been listening, and you've got very similar, probably, sense of humor.
I was gonna say similar music taste.
Well, hey, I'm just a consumer, man. I have my first hot rod being built out at Hills Hot Rods in Lubbock, Texas. Super
yeah.
pumped. And man, I had a kind of a basic question for you guys. Sure. My build's a 78 GMC Jimmy named Minty that my 8-year-old, 9-year-old girl's named.
Cool.
But it's pretty rad. It's gone through a full repaint, and we picked a 4-year Porsche color called mint green. That's why it's called Minty. And lots of inspiration from you guys. Now, after the fact, 2 years later, I probably should have bought a chassis and just listened to your early on advice. But we did a front IFS with Scott's to narrow the track so I could do some forge lines to make it look like a Roadster Shop kind of car. So I think you guys will dig it when you see it. But I have a paint question. Okay, so Jason's the best at painting trucks, and this was an investment, right? So when I get this thing, I plan to drive it. It's not just going to sit as a trophy. Like, I promised my wife I'm going to drive the shit out of it, right? So my question is, when you guys send home a car to a customer that's gone through a repaint, there's so much marketing around paint, upkeep, right? Like protection and waxes and ceramic coatings. And I've watched all the videos, and it's all very inspiring. And I've done some of that stuff to my late model daily stuff. But when it comes to a hot rod that's been repainted, I just love to hear you guys go around on what you do to your own cars, what brands, specific as you want to get. But
Sure. So what I do to my own car is absolutely fucking nothing. Because
that's a bad example.
I only drive patinaed cars for that reason.
And here's the reason. So the paint, it takes a lot of upkeep, man. And it, like, realistically, you've got to come to grips with like imperfections. If you're gonna drive it, it's gonna have flaws. If it's gonna sit out in the sun and it's gonna cook all day, there's things that are gonna come out of it. And that's just those are just the facts. So anybody will tell you, and if they don't, they're lying to you. You can make it super slick, you can make it absolutely gorgeous, but realistically, it's not our area of expertise when it comes to like the detail side of it. We've got some great guys. Like, we just had Jason Kilmer was in here for 3 days, and they're doing like paint correction stuff on some cars we're bringing out to SEMA. And it's 2 solid days, and you're looking at like $2,500, right? To polish a car, take every little surface scratch out of it. And those dudes are kind of on the fence about like the ceramic coating. I've felt that it works well for a car you're going to drive, makes it super easy to like maintain. If you're cool with putting some paint protection film on it, that's probably the best thing you can do if you want to avoid rock chips. And if you're going to take it out and do some burnouts and throw some stones around, that's probably the best thing you can do.
Yeah, we did Matt's Chevelle. Actually, Matt did it. He had it ceramic coated, and I thought it was phenomenal for a black car, because every time you look at a black car, you scratch it, and that thing, you could wipe it down 20 times and it wouldn't have all the little fine hairline scratches. So that was kind of an eye opener for us.
That was about 6 or 8 months after it was done, and he'd been driving it and stuff like that. Had it detailed and ceramic coated.
Dave had the Lime Crush Suburban Paint Protect PPF wrapped. On the fence on that one, because you spend so much time wet sanding and buffing and getting it perfectly flat and super deep looking. And
Murder the finish.
Yeah, then you put this adhesive film over it that is nowhere near as deep and glossy, that you just spent probably tens of thousands of dollars trying to get to.
On there. I think you can, depending on the vehicle, you can run to a body line or something like that, or do a leading edge, or do some mirrors, or do some stuff like that to keep the like we do it on a high end daily driver. You're going to hit the hood and stuff like that, but wrapping the entire vehicle on, because the texture's there.
Yeah, below the quarters, or
behind the wheels,
behind the wheel,
something like that. Depending on the, I'm thinking of a 60 to 66, you could have ran, to the peak line, or something like that. Depending on the vehicle.
Is your concern with like the upkeep, maintaining the shine, like pulling into the cruise night and having it look gorgeous, or like
I just
protecting it from? Dude, honestly, the best thing you can do. Where are you in Texas? Do you?
Yeah, I live in Dallas.
So here's the best thing you do, right? This is a little complicated, but
call Matt Saxon.
No, you bring the car back to Jason at Hills Hot Rods, and you say, polish it up, man.
Hey, like, this thing needs a polish.
Right.
I got a rock chip. Paint the front of the hood.
Best case scenario.
Cool.
Washing it. Good grief.
Don't wash it.
There's 200,000 different things out there to do for washing and stuff like that. Generally, we take a high-end microfiber and some waterless wash or some spray detailer.
You could do
pretty much all the time.
You could do some serious damage with a microfiber if you drop it on the ground, throw it out. You'll pick up the tiniest little pebble that you'll never see, and you will scratch the living hell out of your car.
Yeah,
we've had a couple customers do that. Take it down to bare metal in a few spots.
Spend the money on some generally on microfibers, the more, because they're so fucking cheap for the cheap ones, the more money you spend, the better you do get. I know Adam's got some great products. Griots has got some amazing products, stuff like that. And unless you're going through like a 3,000-mile road tour or you're driving through an absolute monsoon, you can spray detail it and microfiber it to keep it clean. Like you said, the washing is like it's gotten bad if you have to wash it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, I love the pod. I hope y'all keep it going. Thanks so much for entertaining us.
Hey,
Thanks,
I appreciate it, man. That was a great question.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I'm sure that was blatantly obvious.
Thanks, man. We
Cool.
appreciate the question, dude.
And
Great to
appreciate
meet you.
the background. That's
All right. I hope to meet you in person soon at some shows.
Absolutely, bud.
Cool.
Look forward
All
to
right.
it.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Oh,
there he is.
shit.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy?
How are you?
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hey,
dude.
I'm actually doing really good. I was just opening my mail before I came here. Looky what I got.
Oh, shit. Was that one of those banners or is that an invoice?
No, that's an invoice.
Oh, that's a good thing. That means we're working on something, right?
Exactly.
Oh, look
look what we got.
Yeah, look what we got.
Oh, little notch, little
we got a little
Nantucket.
notch.
Dude, so we've saved this, right? We keep talking about it because it's a fucking badass looking bottle. And
Right.
this was the perfect time to bust it out. This is good stuff, dude. This was a contribution from Dave right here.
Yeah.
From fucking Nantucket.
For everybody that's listening right now, they
Yeah.
can't see Dave. We just started talking to
Okay.
a guy, right?
Just a guy.
So
Dave,
we've got to let
give him a little background.
So we've got Dave Delancey. He's a great friend. We've met him on the road tours through Chris Sears Customs, who is a great customer. 66 Impala.
Yep.
On the road tour 3-4 years ago. You've got a 65 or 66 C10? Is it 65?
65
65.
C10, 77 C10. I got
Bubble top.
Garfield's old Survivor Series bubble top.
Yeah, Dave is in the family. He's in the RoadsterShop family.
You got another bubble top going together now, right?
Yeah, Chris is doing that one now. That one's getting spec chassis. Don did a LSX for it, dressed like a 409, and Bowler did a T56 for it, and good old cousin Jesse's going to cut some wheels for it, and JK is going to do an interior. And
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
you're I'm trying to remember off the top of my head this because we're rolling off the hip tonight. This B-Boy Dave 55, right?
yeah.
On Instagram at B-Boy Dave 55 on Instagram. You can check out all the Dave's crazy
So,
cars.
Dave, is it called? Do you refer to it as the Cape? Is that where you're from? Is that or what do you say? Is it
Yeah. Everyone in New England just calls it the Cape.
the Cape? Right.
He's
So
from
Dave's
the Cape.
Dave's from the Cape. Check out the Lobster Trap.
Mm.
Coolest fucking restaurant I've ever been to. Awesome place, man. Dave's an awesome dude. Pleasure to have met you, Dave. We would love to have you on a full podcast
Next
deal
year. We're doing it next
because
year.
you've got a bitchin' collection, awesome success story, and also contributed this killer bottle of Nantucket.
If we
whiskey.
have you down in studio next year for a full episode, how can we get your food down here as well?
I was gonna go the other way. We need to go like remote to
Oh,
his place.
Yes, we go remote. Fuck the
Yeah.
studio.
We'll go remote.
Bring Ironclad to the Cape, and we'll.
Okay.
I've done some podcasts before from the trap.
All right.
Done.
Absolutely 100%. I hope Jesse,
Done.
you're listening. We're going to the Lobster Trap next year to interview Dave and eat his food.
We're
think
going
we're
in-house.
in. We're in. As long as you got room
Afterwards.
for some producers on there, we're in.
Afterwards, we're going to get some late night pizza at the trading post.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what is that
We're
called?
actually-
The Boston style bar pizza.
It's so like south of Boston is considered the South Shore, and we do a South Shore style bar pizza.
It-
That's
phenomenal.
a
only
thing?
made in
Yeah, it's a thing.
Massachusetts.
South Shore style bar pizza.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's not only a thing, it's an awesome thing. Me and Phil got to experience it. So cool. We're like jaded here in the Midwest, you know. This is the
Parking
second
lot
thing.
pizza?
No, this is like the second thing next to probably second to the Formula One race that you missed. This might be one of the cooler experiences
I got
we
a
had.
T-shirt. I appreciate the T-shirt. I didn't get to experience any
You
of the rest.
did, yeah.
Right.
My son wears a T-shirt at least once every 2 weeks, if not more.
That's a comfortable
I love it.
T-shirt. I wear it all the time.
We just got back from the last Barrett Jackson tour, and I had to send the Dutch boys some gear, Jesse some gear, Troy over BBT Fab. I had to send him some trap gear. So
it's gonna be the cool thing around the industry. Everybody's wearing lobster trap or trading post stuff, and they're like, "Hey, what's the deal?"
They're all gonna
with
be like, well, "Yeah," they're gonna be like, "What the hell's a lobster trap?"
Oh, Dave, we've always loved hanging out with you. Can't believe we're humbled that you could come on and take a little time away from your multitude of businesses and hobbies to ask
I'm
us.
coming in my slow season. I got nothing but time.
Nothing but time. So what do you got for us? We're changing the turning the tables a little bit and letting you guys ask us some questions.
A little scared on this one.
We're not going to talk about Miatas, the Florida Georgia line. Okay, let's just get that right up front.
Can you fit in a Miata?
No. My wife has a 71 Beetle convertible. And when I move it around the garage, if I got to put it in reverse, I got to hang my left leg out to get it over and get it in reverse. Saxon tried putting me in his GT3 on the road tour. I couldn't fit in the seat.
How'd you not play college football?
I did.
Never mind.
Of course he did.
And your son's playing ball too, right? Like I follow everything, we're buddies. I see everything you put on social media. Hell of a family guy. Your son's kicking ass too, right? Like
Yeah, my son's actually his team's 6-1. He's a junior in high school this year, and his team just won their league last week, and they got to play one more game Friday night to see what their playoff seed is going to be, and hopefully they make a good run at a Super Bowl.
Where's he wanting to go to college?
He's starting to think about that now. He wants to either stay somewhere in New England or be like out in Colorado. He likes to snowboard in the winter, so he wants to be somewhere where he can snowboard in the winter.
No SEC schools, huh?
No, I don't know if he's that good. I don't think Nick Saban's calling him, but he's a big boy. He's 6'4", 215 pounds, and quick and athletic, and he'll play somewhere.
6'4", 215. Was he tight end?
Yeah, tight end, DN, and then they run a spread offense, so he plays a lot of tackle this year too. Yeah.
The best of luck to your son. I've got a 16-year-old son as well that has big aspirations and big dreams.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him as well. Best of luck to your son. Having a son at that age I sent my daughter off to college this summer, and let me tell you, having a son at 16 is a different experience. That's a different experience.
Him and I having fun together, and he loves the cars too. He had his homecoming this weekend. He drove the bubble top to the homecoming this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome!
I saw that, dude. So
bad. He said all the teachers were drooling all over it out in the parking lot.
I've got a great relationship with my son. I want to ask you this: I love my son to death. I'm sure you do the same way. Do you think that at 16 you were as dumb? I don't think at 16 I was as dumb as my son. Like there's things that he does. I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking?
I did a lot of dumb shit when I was 16. He's way more responsible than I was at 16.
Completely opposite of me then. Yeah, I did some dumb shit too, but yeah,
I did a lot of dumb shit.
What are learning experiences?
Yeah, learning experience, life lessons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on any of that.
You're done. You don't want to add anything.
He's fully loaded. It's just
on the dumb shit category. Like I'm on a whole nother level than you
we'll
guys.
Talk. We'll talk off air on that.
Yeah, we'll talk over whiskey and
absolutely.
You going to SEMA, Dave?
I am not planning on it. Actually, before I answer that, are you guys having a party or not?
Is that your question?
Man, everybody's asking
That's
that.
the third time tonight. That's the third time tonight.
If you guys are having a party, I'll book a flight tonight.
We're not having a party, but
we can party.
We can party.
Yeah, you can fly out there. We can still party.
All right.
Chris isn't. I talked to Chris today. He said he's not coming out. He's going
Yeah, he's
fucking
not
poker
coming.
running. You know, he's going on a bunch of race boats. So
Yeah,
way more
he's
badass.
all about the race boats. I don't know. I might sneak out there. I just did that week in the Midwest with Barrett Jackson, and I'm taking a little weekend trip with the wife in a couple weeks to Charleston, South Carolina. If I can sneak a couple days in Vegas, you might see me out there.
Dude,
I might text you or Phil for a wristband or something.
We got
this
you,
week.
man.
We can make it
Coming out.
You're
We
gonna
got you.
you're gonna fit right in Charleston, South Carolina with that accent. Let me tell you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're local."
Yeah.
Again, humbled that you could come on. What do you got for us tonight? We're a little
Well, I
nervous.
wrote down a couple questions for you guys, and we've talked a lot before, but just one for fans out there and listeners. You guys pride yourselves on building chassis and cars that are expected to be driven, and you guys have been doing it for a good amount of years now. Do you see any of your build the chassis around that have 100,000 plus miles on them? And how are they standing the test of time, and how are they holding up?
Sure. We had a guy that was 100,000 plus.
Don?
Yeah, well, that was one. Yeah, we've got one. Actually, an older Roadster Shop chassis that's well over 100K. Chris Jacobs, he's up there. I mean, he's got
Jeff Greening's got what,
Yeah.
60, 70,000?
Yep, 60, 70,000. I'm rounding 15K on my Legend truck. We've
not
got
quite there.
Well, yeah, not quite there, right?
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
significantly less than
but it's
100.
fresh. Dave Garfield. I mean, on like his Camaro, that thing's got to be
40s, 50s.
It's up there. We got to be up there around 40K.
Right.
The 55 probably has that entire rear tire speed.
Right.
Yeah.
The bubble top that you got from Dave it's got to have what, 15?
I got 19,000 miles
19?
on it now.
Right.
I got my 66 Impala. I got like 8,700 miles on that, and it's been through 17 states already.
So, I mean, honestly, who better to ask than you? Like, what's wrong with are there like bushings falling out of the bubble top? Is there anything that's
Nothing.
coming apart? Is it
Nothing.
honestly, that stuff, like, there's nothing from a bushing standpoint or a chassis standpoint that you're gonna lose. I mean, you might lose like a dust shield on a tie rod end or something, but
Right.
you did all that stuff, like the Delrin bushings and everything, and the way that stuff was designed. It was designed to be punished, right? So if you're punishing it on a track, going out like highway miles, it's effortless, absolutely
Right.
effortless. So, and I was actually thinking about it this morning as we get in like the Legend truck stuff, which I know you got one on the way. I'm driving this morning, so I'm heading to the gym, because I work out, right? Obviously, Josh.
Great tie-in.
Yeah. So I'm heading to the gym this morning. It's pouring rain. It's still dark out.
He still managed to make it.
And I'm
With
going
dedication.
around a corner, and I like on the side street, like 40 miles an hour, and I
And your
dip.
toms get stuck on
No, I
underneath.
dip a tire off. It's a narrow little road. I dip a tire off and just murder this like gnarly pothole, and it doesn't even you don't even think twice about it, because I know everything that we've put into the chassis, that I just shrug it off and pull that thing right back onto the road. Like, granted, maybe I was texting, maybe I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing, but at any rate, I dropped a tire off the fucking road, and you just know it's designed to take like punishment.
Wind must be blowing hard.
It's the front wheel, dude.
But, and sometimes that wind to get a side gust.
Yeah.
Get carried away.
Fuck you guys. I hate you guys. But I mean, the stuff's figured in. Like, you look at like a spec chassis, so you get up into there, like you start piling that mileage on. You'll at some point, 20,000 miles, you're gonna have to start looking at some control arm bushings and stuff like that. But a fast track Delrin bushing, that thing's going forever. It's never gonna quit.
Right. You're a veteran of them, and I hate to. I even hesitate bringing it up because we've talked about it so many times on this, podcast about the road tours, and exactly.
Are you
what
gonna
I'm about
make
to
it
say.
through this question?
I apologize, man.
He's gonna have a fucking heart attack.
Old
as shit.
On being on the road tours when you're doing them, it's not just the driving, for long distances and stuff. It's the fact that you're driving them like a normal car. There's always a situation that you put the car in that you didn't think you were about to put the car in. I remember way back in the day, driving, we had George's Impala, for the maiden.
I thought you were talking about, I thought you were going to go to the Mustang where you're trying to jump it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do that too. But I mean, New Orleans, right? We're going in like the fifth level of the parking deck, and it's basically like a 60-degree angle, to try to get over. And you high side the thing, or you're driving down the road and you're running like six deep, 6 guys running, and somebody wants to hop off the side of the road. Well, by the time it gets to your time, it's not really a great place to pull over, so it's off in the gravel, or it's this, or you put the vehicle in situations that you would never do on basically a daily basis, right? And at the same time, you're kind of like, you've already put in your head that it's going to get road grime, it's going to get rock chips, it's going to get bugs, it's going to get this. And I built this car to enjoy it, and enjoying it on this road trip is what I'm going to do. But you do all that kind of stuff, and then every now and then you're kind of like, I bet that wasn't great. I bet that wasn't good. And then you get back and you want to do a detail, you get it on the lift or whatever, and you're looking, you're like, oh,
it's all good.
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, no big deal.
I mean,
I was waiting to see where that came around.
I'll tell you what, I learned some lessons on this Midwest tour. I mean, to give you a quick 2-minute story, Chris finished that 66 for the 2020 road tour. We had 300 test miles on it and shipped it to Atlanta. Did that tour, came home, it was like, whatever, 2,500 miles. Drove it a little bit more, put it away, forgot about it for the winter, drove it a little bit the next summer, did the Chicago tour where we came to your place. Yeah, everything was all good, but like Chris just got it done. Like he had the exhaust dumped out the rear tires, like just, we didn't really like get it back in the shop and button it up. And then I did this Midwest tour, and also like I built that car to be running around New England. I think we had a 370 rear in it. You're never going more than 100 mile an hour out here in New England. Well, we got out in Colorado and Utah, and everybody wants to run 110, 120 miles an hour. And I'm 370 rear end, running 3,700 RPMs for an hour at a time, hour and a half at a time.
350 gears, man.
Well, as soon as we got home, I sent it to Chris. I had him finish the exhaust, put resonators on it, a couple catch cans here and there, put a 330 rear in it, and the car is money right now. We're in those high elevations. I started running a little lean, pushing some oil through the rings. Ended up being a valve cover was too close to a coil and it was grounding out. Simple fix, but definitely learned some things on that Midwest trip. And I've been driving the car the last week, and it is unbelievably super dialed in right now.
There's no other way to replicate those things
than to get out there and do them.
Do them, And it's fun when you're doing it with other shops and other guys that all feel the same way, and you're all kind of like, we're in this together. We're gonna have fun. And very rarely do there problems pop up, and it's usually something simple,
right?
But you have some of the most fun when it is solving something simple. It's like, valve cover bolt backed out or whatever it was, and you're hanging out on the side of the road and doing that, and you learn so much and having a lot of fun.
The one problem I had on the 66 we were going through Utah we were going from Salt Lake heading to Wyoming, and we're running about 100 miles an hour on those highways, and it's all up and down these big hills. I lost my brakes.
That's not good, dude.
No, not good. Yeah. Not good. So I called Jesse and Troy, and we get off the next exit. We pulled over into a Taco Bell parking lot, and it ended up being a brake line fitting nut was rubbing against the coil on the rear end, and it just spun the nut off, and I lost brake fluid. And it was like a simple fix. We fixed it in the parking lot. I had Troy Gutchell and Jesse Greening, doing a little side of the road repair in a Taco Bell parking lot. We were back up on the road in 20 minutes.
That's awesome, man.
That's part of the. That's all part of the experience. Those road tours are super cool with that. Like the first time we met you, we were out doing one of the tours. I remember you guys you ate up a belt, like a supercharger belt or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I didn't even met you yet. But it's all hands on deck. It's
Yep.
like, well, we're gonna
Figure it
figure
out.
this out. Somebody's finding an auto parts store. We're getting a belt, and we're gonna get this thing back on the road. That road tours are kick ass for that.
Everybody that's in business now that's building cars and customers that want to enjoy their investments, you need to do it. I know I again hate to keep harping on it. It's that big of a deal to us. We have that much fun and you learn that much. And it's like as soon as you show up at that first hotel, that first dinner, when you're about to start, you check all egos at the door. Nobody gives a shit about who is building who for what, for when, for where, what awards. We're all making a destination and we're going to have a shit ton of fun along the way. And you're all in it together.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you had a couple questions, Dave. Is that the
Well,
is that the one and only, or what else you got?
well, I wanted. And then the other thing, and you know what? I'm going to ask you the question, and I think I know the answer to it already. But there's so much cool technology available right now with SolidWorks, 3D printing, etc. The cars are also over the top nice, and if you can dream it up in your head, it can become a reality.
Yep.
The Grand National, Rogan 69 Camaro, Garfield's 55. Those cars are perfection in my eyes. My question is, what are you guys going to do for an encore? How do you top what's already been accomplished by you guys and other people in the industry? And then I just, saw the teasers for the truck the Ring Brothers are
Oh yeah.
are going to drop at SEMA, and I'm like, okay, that's what's next.
Yeah, fuck those guys, right?
Yeah.
I
I think that's what motivates everything.
Yeah.
Is like someone comes out and raises the bar, and then like 10 or 15 guys look at that and they need to raise the bar, and it just kind of keeps going up. It's motivation, not you're going to do something better than them. You're just inspired by what they did and want to try to just
Right.
build the next thing. I don't know what
I
that
mean,
is
the
yet. That's
first
probably
time,
coming out of his head, but
yeah. I mean, I remember the first time I saw Garfield's 55. I was like, wow. I haven't been blown away by a car in a long time. And that car really blew my hair back. And then I saw the Grand National.
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
dude,
what
give
the
us some
fuck?
time. The Grand National's like just finished, right?
Yeah.
Like let us
So the
bask
thing
in
about,
that
I mean,
glory.
you made mention of like SolidWorks and everything, and those cars are pretty good examples of that. Those both Garfield's car and that Grand National, those are cars that started full blown like in the computer. Like everything was based off of scans. They like Mike up in engineering crushed it, right? Like there's a model of every single thing on both of those cars. So you're looking at like a radiator, you're looking at an overflow, you're looking at an overflow line. Nothing's by accident. Like there's
Right.
nothing every single piece, like down to a wire, a firewall pass through, a nut, a bolt, that stuff was all figured on those cars. And they don't look at like, I mean, the Grand National maybe does, but Garfield's car was a survivor, so maybe it doesn't look it at a glance, but there's a like, you've got like 3/16 of clearance between the water pump pulley and the fan. Like, yeah, we know that. We knew that ahead of time, right? Because that whole radiator module's totally prefigured. And we know we're splitting hairs on the hood latch too, because that 55 hood rolls around. So all that stuff was so well engineered ahead of time.
Right.
So there's been like a major shift on cars like that of starting it in the engineering department. And it's like, you know, coming out of like me and Mike sit down and we take all the parts pieces, we take the idea and bam, you bring it together. And then there's enough style that's placed on it when we move it through to like the design department with Chris, where he's putting all the fucking sex on it. But then, like Phil
Right.
said, the next level is like, all right, we're doing something really cool. Well, fuck. The Ring Brothers just
Yeah, just came in and
yeah,
shat all over that.
right. They just drop a absolute heater, So
Right.
that's totally what the industry needs, because I don't know. I can't tell you what's next, but I know that car's like so over the top. I'm super proud of the Grand National and everything we've done on it. how that
Yeah.
stands up against that crazy over the top build the Rings have done. I don't know, but we've got one. We've got one like queued up. It's designed. It's ready to roll. It just takes like I don't know. How's business doing, dude? Like, is
Yeah.
like
Here's the
Right.
soft
sales
sell.
like sales pretty strong? Like where we
Maybe do
at?
a
You know?
lobster
Like,
trap
yeah.
Yeah.
logo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one that I think would be in my mind. It's it's the swan song for the Roadster Shop. It's yeah, it's that one that's way over the top, but it takes the
Right.
right customer that can
Right.
trust you to just cut loose on it. But yeah, man, I mean it's a badass industry. It's just we'll see what
Oh, that's
happens after
awesome.
SEMA this year. I hope to be
E-
super motivated and like
e-
impressed.
Even that 79 Camaro you guys just finished, that white one, man, that thing is, dude, the interior on that thing is awesome.
Yeah, that was our
It just,
dude, our boy Miranda built. So Miranda, he's you met him, you met Jeremy Miranda.
no, I don't think so.
So we're trying to push him and push him to come out on these road tours because great buddy of mine, awesome shop. He's absolutely crushing it. He's gotten into the interior game. He did the interior on that car down there. I mean, that thing's obviously way edgy, right? Powder blue with like 80s,
Yeah.
suede inserts in the seat. But yeah, he did a hell of a job on it, man. And he's right in that clique. Like he's such a cool dude. I mean, you'd totally dig him.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, man, Dave, I appreciate it. Glad you could take time out of your busy schedule in the Cape. I'm gonna have to get
I
up
always
there and
get time
visit.
for you guys. Hey, and
Dude.
either I'll fly out to you guys for an episode,
No,
or
Nah,
dude,
yeah.
we're coming out there.
It's already been decided.
When's the best time of year to come out there and visit?
the most fun is in the summer, June, July, August, September. I know Ed's got the he told me the tour next September is starting in Boston.
Are you gonna host a meal or what's
Yeah,
up?
he wants us to host a dinner or a lunch or something at the trap one day. So
Yeah, maybe we coordinate all that
maybe
and
we
work it in
coordinate
together.
a
Yeah.
podcast episode into that.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right,
Appreciate
boys.
it, man.
Thanks,
Had
dude.
a great
Good
time.
catching up,
All right,
man.
enjoy that notch.
Absolutely,
See you guys
man.
soon.
Great stuff.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bro. Later.
Later.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up,
What's up,
dude?
Bradley?
Not too much. I was making myself more nervous. I failed public speaking in college. Don't tell my mom, but
Dude, have you
So-
have you ever listened to us? We're really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, we fail it weekly.
yeah, I've just caught up with the last episode this morning. I would say you're probably your hardest critic. So
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
no, I
Fire
really
away.
enjoy it. So I have two questions.
Sure.
If there's time for the second one, but I noticed that you guys bring up how jobs cost money or you donate time on a job, and so I was curious if you could kind of walk us through, or what do you call it? Just I can't think of the word, but how do you guys go about quoting custom work? Like I know it can be tricky, or my understanding is, and also really expensive when you're not doing a production run of something. So I was kind of curious how you guys go about that, if you have a system in place to help do something like that.
I'd say we base a lot of stuff on prior builds. The parts wise is fairly easy to get a pretty close ballpark number on. The labor and the custom one-off stuff is where it kind of can have some range. And honestly, a lot of these things really kind of tend to get personalities and grow along the way. So it's hard to upfront put a dead set number on it, because twofold. Once you get into the car and strip it down to bare metal, it's never what you thought it was going to be. And
Right.
then on top of that, the projects always evolve, and we get inspired, customers get inspired. What you thought you wanted at the beginning, 6, 8 months later, isn't exactly what you want now. And you started doing a few things, and that leads into a few more things, so they kind of grow and evolve a little bit.
Okay, so it's mostly an experience thing though on your guys' part.
Yeah, I mean, to read a little bit, I guess, into your question, and I hope I'm not reading too much into it. It has evolved over time. Back in the day, when you're getting your name, we've talked about this, building your business card, getting out there. You would kind of work with that customer and figure out what their budget was, and what you could think you could do it for. Um, you may agree on something, you may give a range, um, knowing that you're probably going to have to donate a lot of your time to get it to the level that you want it to get it to, right?
Yeah, because you want to build a
Right.
$300,000 car, and they're in for a $200,000 car.
Exactly.
Right.
And at that point, you maybe have very limited employees, but you're also putting your own time into it. So you're not paying yourself, but you're working to do what needs to be done to make up that extra because you're wanting to get your business card out. Then fast forward, you start getting a name, you do that. You start either quoting less or quoting a little higher than what the last one was, because you knew what it took you to do that. But like to Phil's point, every time a customer is like, okay, we're in for this, as soon as they're a part of that process, they want to make it a little nicer, right? So you make it a little nicer and you do this. Well, I know you did this on the last one, and that's what you quoted me the price for, but can we do this that's a little bit nice? What would you like to do? So you do that, and maybe you donate a little less, or you get to that point where you have that conversation and that honesty with that customer, and everybody's on the same page, and you talk about from the very get-go that there is no quotes. There's ranges. This is how much this one cost. This is how much this one costs. This is how much this one costs. What yours is going to cost should be around this for what we're talking about. And then as you start going through those for a few months and stuff like that, and the guy's like, hey, I know we talked about LS3 and T56. Now I want Abrams tank motor and 3,000 horsepower, and this. Well, hey, you realize that now we've upped the budget, right? That's costing X amount of more dollars. Oh yeah, no problem. I'm on board. And everybody understanding that when along the way, when you're adding things, you're adding money. I guess that's the three differences, from the infancy to as you're growing to kind of where it is now and having that. Am I wrong?
The Abrams tank motor, you're wrong on, I think.
It was,
Yeah.
for a
We
fact.
we
Sorry.
have set up Tri-5 Chevys for tank motors though.
Have
Or-
we?
What's the one dude?
That was like a W24.
Yeah,
That sounds like a tank
it's
motor.
fucking
Yeah.
tank
Yeah.
motor, right?
But
24s.
it's way different when you start. One, you become smarter, but at the same time, you've got a body of work that you can talk about and show. When that first first or second or third customer comes in, it's a completely. I wish there was an easier answer. It's a completely different way of doing business than it is after your 20th or 30th customer.
Right. Yeah. I guess that question came from I've kind of got my feet wet in low volume manufacturing and prototyping, and got the opportunity to manage a couple shops doing that. And it's really like pragmatic. You learn, okay, it takes about this long to fit and tack, so on and so forth. But this is like, more of an art than anything. And it's how do you quantify that with some amount of knowledge? So, yeah, it's like, obviously people wouldn't be doing it if, or in business, if there was no profitability in it. You'd just be like scraping by every time, and you'd eventually have to find something else. So I guess that's kind of where that came from. But no, what you say makes sense. So maybe eventually I'll figure that one out. And
Figure out how much
and
you
then-
lost in the last one so you can quote the next one better.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of losses, this one's kind of a new question, but from a couple episodes ago, I can't remember who said it, but it was brought up really briefly, like if you're making a business plan, like throw it in the trash. And I listened to that right as I finished like the first draft of like my plan.
Sure.
And I was like, no, don't tell me that. Like,
Yeah.
and so I was curious, like, I guess a little bit more about what you meant by that. And I understand, needing to be flexible, but what I've been taught was without a plan, you kind of are just like a leaf in a stream. And so at least if you have an idea of where you want to go, you can actively work toward that with what you're doing every day. So I felt like I had to ask about that one as well, because I was like, I
Sure.
just put all this time into that business plan. And
Yeah. I think that, I mean, that's very it's very involved, that the answer to that. Like, for us, I would say, like, for us, we say throw the business plan, like, out, just throw it out the window, right? Our business 100% came from just having an absolute passion for building the best possible thing we can possibly build. Like, I mean, we had a vision, right? Have a vision, like, 100%
Right.
have a
Well,
vision
there's a difference between
of the direction you're going. But if you have a business plan of, like, you know, like, this is what I'm going to be doing on said day. I'm going to have X amount of employees. I'm going to be in, like, this particular facility. We're going to have this product line, and this is the revenue that it's going to generate. Like, that's very difficult in the hot rod industry. Like, if you're looking at
Right.
manufacturing, sure, 100%, right? Like,
Yeah, we're
have a,
more of a figure shit out, make it happen approach.
yeah,
Right.
it's evolved. Like, for us, it's really funky, you know? Like,
I'd look at it as like going on a trip. There's the direction to California from here is west, right? So knowing that you're headed west is a direction and a plan, right? But the exact roads and every single exit and every single gas stop and all of the guardrails and all of the tolls figured out, that's that's probably business planning it too much. Knowing you're headed west and always making sure that no matter what you're doing, you're some way along the way headed west, but being able to, hey, we can hop off and go Route 66 for, 30, 40 miles. And then we're going to hop back on the interstate and all that. We're still headed west. We're still headed to California. But if you get so I guess planned and knowing that we're taking I-80 or whatever it is the whole fucking way, and those are guardrails, and no matter what happens, we can't get off of I-80, and you know what I'm saying? That having that
Yeah.
cloud your ability to kind of think on the fly.
There's I don't remember who said there's a quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was something like be unrelentless in the vision, but be forgiving in the details and how you get there.
Okay, it's no
So
worse than how I butchered my made up
no,
saying.
that was actually way better.
yeah, it was shorter.
Yeah, it
You
was
didn't have to listen to all
yeah,
that crap
so
that you
that
were
was
spitting out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Are we still on the 80 or
Right.
Yeah,
where
we're
are we
still
headed?
on I-80.
No, we got
Okay.
off. There's a clover leaf, right? We got a flat tire, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that's the vision, man. I mean, it's so difficult. Like, when you're doing something creative and you're trying to be like an expert at your craft, like, you have to put a lot more merit in honing the craft and being the expert at that craft and differentiating yourself from everybody else out there, opposed to just sticking to said business plan, you know? I think,
Right.
like, hot rod shop, like, if you're looking to build custom cars, 100% throw the fucking business plan in the garbage, right? If you've got a vision for a manufacturing based business, a product line, you've got something like that. Yeah, there's some structure that you can adhere to, but still, like, I think you got to run a little bit loose, because
I think you. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I think you learn a ton along the way that you didn't have the experience and knowledge at the start when you're developing your business plan that will probably change your course significantly along the way.
Yeah.
Start getting better
Right.
gas mileage along the way.
Sure.
For your trip, for your journey. I mean, I'm trying to dumb it down. For a lot of people are not as smart as you guys. A lot of people
I
are
guess,
stupid like
like,
me.
the simple answer is that I don't see a lot of people in this industry that are super successful that have come into the industry with just a business plan, right? Like, the guys who have
Right.
prevailed, the guys who are at the absolute top, the winners, the guys who have been successful.
had no idea what
They
they're doing
yeah,
business wise.
right. They've been all guys that have just not a clue, right? They just got in and they were grinding and they just ground their way all the way to the top. I don't know anybody that I've sat down with that said, "Oh yeah, like, this is what I presented to the bank and this is what I'm still adhering to." Like, honest to God, I don't know a single one.
Yeah, I
Sure.
guarantee you nobody has ever gotten a bank loan in this industry and told the bank exactly what their plan was, because that shit wasn't getting a loan.
And also, in full disclosure, don't take our advice for running a business.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, yeah.
Or take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
grains here and there.
Yeah.
Right, you got to stick to your guns to some extent. So, like, we're just throwing out
Right.
that, like, this was our path. This is what we've done. This is the people that we know that have done big things. But if you've got something that you're passionate about, and like, you got to
Right.
believe in yourself, like
Yeah.
100%. So if you've got a direction, you've got something in mind, dude, fucking rock it out.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways that I've heard come up in like episode is like if you have an idea for something, like go and make it, and going back to some of the things I've heard from other bosses is like doing anything, like doing something is better than doing nothing. A lot of people get frozen in like, oh, I have this idea, but like how do you start? Where it's like literally doing anything is better than standing there thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
Get backed into a corner, and then you're forced to figure it out.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, and then I mean, I don't think there's any language issues here, but the words from my last boss was like, if you're gonna fuck it up fast, because then at least you learn from it and you didn't waste a bunch of time doing it.
That's pretty
That's
solid. Really good. Yeah. Hurry up and get figuring out that you did it
Learn the
wrong.
lesson.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I'll compound that with something that somebody told me was that, like, do something even if it's not right, which speaks to what you just said.
At least you're
Like,
moving.
yeah, mix all that up together and you got something.
Right.
Right.
What direction are you headed? I mean, where are you looking to go? That you've obviously you've written down a business plan. You've got something shaking. What are you looking to do? Where are you looking to go?
So I mean, custom cars to an extent, like I didn't have a business plan. That came from, again, my last boss, who was very, very planned out, like had a path for where the company was going. Great boss. And that was basically what I took away from him. But I stumbled into a small business of my own. Like I have a 70 GMC 3/4 ton
Sure.
pickup. And I was like, can I fit a 42-gallon Suburban tank under the bed, like behind the axle? And so I did that, and I didn't want to put the filler in the middle of the bed. So I made these like little fuel fills that fit up against the stake pocket, and posted a couple pictures like, hey, look what I made on a Facebook group. And like I was inundated with just like messages. And then that led to like, okay, well, I'll do this a little bit. And then I made like some shock mounts, and then again, like a bunch of people. And so it was from building stuff for myself, and I kind of took a break. I changed jobs and didn't really have time to do that. And then I top popped the engine in the GMC like a few months ago, and kind of put a damper on things. So the engine's back out of it, and I was like, well, this isn't exactly how I would do it. Like the whole goal is just like make it run, go have fun in it. And so engine came out, and it's kind of like snowballed again. And now it's okay, let's put cantilever 4-link underneath the bed and this and that, and just see what I can do, kind of like what you guys are saying. Like I cut my teeth as a TIG welder, mostly in fabricator, at a shop in the Bay Area, and had a lot of cool opportunities, like welded aerospace titanium up there. And that was just like a project on my own time. Like I've always been into cars, like ever since I was a little kid. And I just kind of like went off the deep end with it. So ideally I would love to build full vehicles, but you guys have said it over and over again, like you can't just like expect someone to say, hey, here's my car, here's a big budget. And so the whole idea was like, well, I got these parts, and like I'm gonna focus on selling some of these parts to fund a little bit of the dream, and see what happens from there.
What's your day job?
So I was an operations manager at a manufacturing on-demand company in Southern California, and I put in my notice, and now I'm currently fun employed. So you're sitting on my welding table, and I'm just like cranking out some customer parts right now.
Hell yeah.
So I have no day job, and seemed like a good opportunity to like, okay, let's kind of
I know this is going to seem like horrible advice. There's a lot of shops in the Bay Area that we know. Everybody in this industry right now is trying to hire. right? And if you've got dreams, whether I don't care if it's, a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, you're going to build full cars and all that stuff. Go work at a shop.
Yeah.
Go work at a
Yeah,
shop.
actually, I
Do you not agree?
It certainly doesn't hurt to gain, like, you're going to gain experience that you can apply to whatever business you plan to, like, if you have your mindset on running a business, like, absolutely, like, there's there's some good shops, there's some bad shops. You might learn some great things. You might learn some things of, like, what not to do, but it doesn't hurt.
Be upfront and honest with them.
It doesn't
Don't
hurt
tell
to
them that you're going to be
experience
there
it.
for 25 years and stuff like that. And then in 2 years, you're going to go start your own shop. Tell them exactly what your dreams, aspirations, wants, needs, all that kind of stuff are. You never know what that shop is going to be in need of, whether it be part-time, full-time, whatever, and what you're going to learn along the way. And also feed your passion while doing it.
I think at the end of the day,
Right.
like, you could take bits and pieces of what we've done, what other guys have done, and work your way through it, like, nobody who's successful has followed, like, in this
Anybody's
industry
path.
anyway, has followed anybody's path. So take little bits and pieces, use it for what it's worth. We're not like the holy grail. Like,
Yeah,
don't follow our path. Like, do your thing, man. If
Yeah.
you've got a skill set, let that fucking flourish, and it's gonna turn into something. Just
Sure.
that's the best I can say, right?
that was like the majority of what we've kind of wanted to cover in the podcast is how all these shops and builders have got started and how they turned into something, so we can kind of share that with everybody and I don't know, get inspired and just do more cool shit.
Yeah, not for like a clear-cut path, but just like all of
A
the
width
different
of
paths.
knowledge. Yeah.
Right.
All the different
Everyone's
paths.
been different.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it has been eye-opening, and I mean that's something else I've noticed is there's no one right way to do it. So that's really what got me into it. Don't get me wrong, I love your guys' work, and when I saw that you guys were doing a podcast, I was like, oh, I got to listen to that because I was getting tired of the music on Spotify every
Sure.
day. But no, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to chit chat.
For
Absolutely,
sure, man.
man.
No, it was
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Awesome talking to you,
It's
dude.
an honor. If you're at a show next time, you see us, come introduce yourself, say hi. Love to meet you in person.
Alrighty.
Thanks, dude.
Sounds
Good to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hey guys.
Oh, hey, what's up?
What's going on?
What is up? I just jumped in and heard you guys talking about Dakota Digital, and as you can see, I got their banner up.
We see
Nice.
Dakota Digital. We see Mothers. All the great brands.
Yep. AccuWare's back there, and then Bag Patina and all the other great guys.
Oh, we have
We'll have to
a
send
limit.
a Roadster Shop one.
We do have to send a Roadster Shop banner. So you have to DM us your address and we'll get you a Roadster Shop banner for that wall.
If you want.
Yeah, I would love that.
We have a limited amount of females on the podcast for this year. Maybe that'll change next year. But for this year,
Yeah,
I would say that you're number 2. Right?
Yay!
You're number 2.
Welcome.
So welcome. We're humbled that you could take some time out to ask us some questions. But first, why don't you introduce yourself? Some of the guests tonight we've known. Some of the guests have been complete surprises. So we're getting to know them as they come. So tell us about yourself.
So I'm Elisa Kay. I've been in the car scene forever. I got in the car scene because my mom built cars with her husband, and I just kind of rolled into it. My first actual hands-on build was a 65 Cadillac Coupe de Ville that I took to SEMA with United Pacific in 2017.
Cool.
Yeah, and then since then, I've just been kind of looking for my next build. I don't know yet because I was going to build a 70 C10, and then I also had a 62 Lincoln, but I didn't continue on those. You know how that goes. You just get a bunch of things, and then before you know it, you have 10 cars, and then you're just like, I don't know, so. So, but then other than that, I'm looking for my next build, and hopefully my next build will be inside at SEMA. So,
Right on. So are you doing this like for a living? Is this what you do day to day? Do you have a day job? What's your story as far as hot rod building?
yeah. No, so my day job is I work at a Pilates studio during the day, and then I also work at a gym part time.
So, what is your question for us today? Is the SEMA what should you build for SEMA? Is that your question, or do you have something else?
No, I just because I know SEMA is on everyone's mind right now. You're kind of in the SEMA and Dino's Get Down Crunch. So, I just wanted to know what was your first SEMA build? Like what made you pick that car and made you just like, this is it?
Man,
That's a good question.
that is a good question. I don't know that there was ever anything that was like a dedicated SEMA build, was there? Can you think of? I mean, what was
No,
the
the first
first?
car we debuted at SEMA was the orange Chevelle.
Where was that?
That was in somebody's booth.
Yep. Right there.
It
Where it was at.
was in Hot Rod Alley. I remember it was like
Yeah,
way
I mean,
back.
the one that stands out, like we've brought a lot of stuff out to the SEMA show. The one that stands out to me is the Rampage Camaro. That
Okay.
we brought that out, and we were like, we were kind of like trying to find our place and like, what can you do? Like, I guess we were maybe like pandering a little bit to like some of the bigger brands, So
Right.
that wasn't necessarily like a GoPro build, but we branded it. We hooked up with GoPro. We had a good contact there. We got it in GoPro's booth, so we branded it. We put some GoPro stuff on it, and
Okay.
I don't know, maybe that helped
But that
like
was after you that was after
jumpstart the
you
car.
you
We've
were
been out there to SEMA
yeah,
like
you
a
were
variety,
building
yeah,
cars
a
and
number of
stuff like
years.
that for that's
But
I think
right, but that was the one
starting out,
that was the one that seemed that was the first one that popped. Don't
you
you
were
think?
happy to
Like
get a
kinda
car at SEMA. You weren't doing
Yeah.
SEMA
right.
builds.
Yeah, you're building something and hoping that another
Right.
vendor recognized that and wanted that in their
Yeah,
booth.
that someone would pick you up.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, so you got to swing for the fences and build the best you can and reach
Yeah.
out to all the contacts on your back wall there and
You look for the hook. You do something that's unique. You don't try to do you always do better than everybody else, but you don't try to do a better version of what everybody else is doing. You look at what the new frontier is.
Yeah.
You look at doing
I
something
think
different.
when you look at
Right.
the hot rod industry, like the guys that are doing the classic cars, the hot rods, the trucks, the stuff, 60s, 70s, 30s, 40s. I don't know of anybody that's building said SEMA car. That's a respectable car. They're building a car for
Right.
a customer. They're building a car for somebody, and then they're
Mhm.
bringing it to SEMA. It's not built for the intention of like SEMA. If you're gonna build something
Of course.
that's for like the lighting company, or the
Yep.
tire company, it's probably not going to be real good.
But
You know,
if you're wanting to
I'm
break
just-
in, if you're wanting to break in and start and make a name for yourself and you're wanting to build the SEMA vehicle, I'm telling you, you need to start going up. I know you got AccuAir on your wall and stuff like that, but seriously, am I not right? I mean, Blazer 67 to
Yeah.
72, I mean, vintage four-wheel drive. I mean, you take that's I'm giving you a little bit of nugget piece of advice of what's you want to break in. That's
what
That's
do
good. That's where
you?
it's
So,
going.
what do
Yeah.
you have in mind? Where you getting with this? Do you have a vision of like? Are you trying to? Do you have like a SEMA vehicle that you want to build? Are you looking for
No,
somebody to
so
come?
so currently I don't have anything because I kind of had a pretty major life event take place in the last 10 months of my life. So I don't currently have anything, but I'm definitely open to breaking into more sections. Like you said, like the off-road thing has great opportunities, or, you could go this way. Like there's so many avenues you can take to building a vehicle or whatever you're into, like even a Vespa you could build, I mean, it's just like
Sure.
there's so many avenues you can venture out to. So I'm just out there looking right now for my next adventure, and I just wanted to hear. I like to hear people's stories, and like you touched base on, you don't really build a vehicle or what have you for SEMA. You build it and you hope you get your group and
Yep.
it takes off. So I guess I just wanted to just kind of get to know you guys and hear
Sure.
kind of what your
build
things were. I guess.
build something
Yeah.
that is showcased at SEMA but transcends SEMA. It shouldn't live and
Right.
die at SEMA.
Of
Are
course.
you gonna be out there at SEMA this year?
Yeah, I think so. I was talking to some of my other buddies that are going, because usually I'm in a booth. I've worked in AccuWare's booth, and then my other companies that I've worked with were like Restomod Air. And then I was gonna go with Billet Specialties, but that's like when COVID happened, and that year was crazy. So yeah, I'm hoping to go out there. Are you guys gonna be out there too?
We'll be
We'll
out
be
there.
there.
We'll have a booth. We're debuting a few new vehicles. So if you're out there, come by the booth, check us out. We'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, actually had a really good question.
Yeah, pretty solid. Good to meet
Appreciate
you.
it. Nice to meet you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Your
Thank
show's
you.
great. Keep it
Awesome.
going, and hopefully I'll see you guys in a few weeks.
I
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, one more caller. Let's bring him in.
Special.
All right, here he comes.
I don't like the name already.
We got a lot. There's so many badass Jeremys in this fucking industry. It's out
What's
of control.
up?
What's
Jeremy.
up,
Oh
folks?
shit! There he is.
Am I the last caller?
You are.
We saved the
man,
best
how
for
was it?
last.
It was really good, dude.
This actually was really good.
It was nice.
It really was.
You guys see what I'm wearing here?
I do.
That's
a-
legit.
Yeah.
It's a Roadster Shop
Yeah.
flannel special edition.
I was wondering why you looked exceptionally nice tonight. I mean, you
I
always
feel
look good. You always
exceptionally
look good, but you look like a little bit nicer tonight.
I feel exceptionally nice. So you guys have been doing Q&A, huh?
We have been.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Actually, it was a fun time. First time we've done this.
Any tough questions so far?
No.
Oh, just why aren't we having a Roadster Shop party this year?
Yeah, that one came
That's-
up a
yeah.
bunch.
We dropped the fucking ball like exponentially.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't-
seldom do we do it, but we did it this
You
year.
realize that was
So-
completely organic that they asked that
I know.
3 times.
I know.
You guys did one. You guys give away a belt, right?
We do.
Or you did in the past.
Yeah.
See, that inspired us. This week we did the chili cook-off here at IRONCLAD, and the winner gets a belt. We've been doing that for a couple years, but I took that inspiration from you guys, just so you know.
Oh,
Nice.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So I got a question for you.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Do you believe in fate?
Fate?
Abs-
Absolutely.
yeah.
Fate.
I-
100%.
Yes, absolutely. I do.
Absolutely.
You know, the reason why I ask is because, up until recently, I didn't believe in fate. But, I got to tell you, I was so touched by this decanter.
Oh,
It meant so
oh.
much to me when I received it.
what have you got there? What do you got?
I'm glad if we got that sent out.
Well, listen. I received this, and I was in awe by it. First off,
Kind of looks
usually
like you.
sits-
The similarities
usually-
are uncanny.
It usually sits back here, so everyone can see it on all my meetings and stuff. And I get so many comments on it, and I thought, what could I ever do to repay? I know, Phil, you're the one who really found this, but I was thinking, what could I do to ever pay you? You guys see this in all my meetings. I was thinking, how could I do something that everyone could see that would really just shout, this is who we are?
Sure.
Is
So,
Florida
the
Georgia
other-
line outside the door right now?
I want to tell you this. The other day, a couple weeks ago, I was perusing the internet, and fate showed itself to me. So I dipped into my children's Christmas fund. And
Oh,
Phil, listen, Phil, I got you something. Josh, go ahead, Josh.
I'm scared.
There's a little surprise downstairs. This
Phil,
is
I want
hey,
you-
this is a big surprise.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Phil, listen,
I hope
in
it
your-
is and it isn't what I think it is.
Phil,
It's
I
a
will tell you
Roadster
this.
Shop fucking keychain. I see that.
In your showroom, you're going to have a beacon of fate for everyone who comes and sees you. And the fate is that this thing showed its face to me, and I just knew it was you when I saw it. So, if you go downstairs, I just think you're going to love what you see.
So we need to go downstairs and check this thing out, huh?
I mean, we can, yeah. Why don't you guys go down? Why don't you guys go down?
I see
And
the
you know what? I'll be
logo
here.
on the key.
We-
Does that
Listen.
give it away? The logo? Oh, just hold tight. Hold tight. There's a
Hey,
little.
you guys, why don't we do this? Why don't you guys go down? We can log back in. The guys will text me when to
Okay.
log back in. You guys go down and enjoy yourself.
All right.
Phil,
Oh,
Phil,
boy.
thank you, my friend.
Hesitantly saying thank you.
Shit. Is this for real or did you like rent this?
Oh, this is yours. This is your race car Miata.
I'm speechless.
42,000 miles, mint condition, with your name on it, okay?
I saw my name on the back.
Oh, yeah.
If I was driving that, I would be hitting every curve. We'll see what they do with it.
He's having a blast. Take that for a rip.
They're gonna take back everything they ever fucking said about Miatas.
I don't want to leave it out in the rain. It's a fucking Miata.
This is everything you guys have dreamed of for me.
Phil's beside himself right now, excited.
Phil's wiping away tears of joy.
Yeah, for all that talk of him hating those things, you can't hide the joy that's in his heart right now.
Dude, I drove it for a minute. It sucks. It's the worst car to drive. I mean, I'll never drive one again. Right. Phil loved it. Dude, he couldn't get him out of it. You couldn't peel him
You
out
look
of that
like you
car.
had a smile on your face.
No,
though.
not at all.
Yeah, you look like you were having
No, I
some
was
fun.
just trying. I went to the one end of the parking lot. I was just trying to get back.
No, you look like you were having a lot of fun. This is Phil's daily driver.
Yeah. I think
I mean, it's in mint shape. It's in mint condition. I really
Dude, what
did
is
stumble upon
like?
it.
What's the story with it? Because you see
I'll wait till
Miatas come
Phil
up for
gets in.
sale. They're usually like old, like road race relics, right? They've all been ridden hard, put away wet. That fucker looks like it came out of like Uncle Terry's garage.
Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Terry had that.
That thing is mint.
All right. Jeremy's going to tell the story about this because this obviously he had to pry it from some widow's storied hands.
Was this from Emerson Fittipaldi's private collection? Or
Hey, listen, I mean,
formerly driven by
truly
Senna?
It truly was fate with this one. I saw it and I couldn't stop myself. I bought it. And I came back to the Ironclad office. I said, "Hey guys, I bought Phil a Miata." And they're like, "What?" I said, "It's perfect. You don't understand. It's perfect." I was looking at this dude. This dude does custom. He sells all these. And he's in Richmond. He's like 2 hours away from here, and he sells like Lamborghinis and all these things. And he's got
so
he's got all
legit
these custom-
high-end fucking sports cars.
Yeah.
And
He's got
Miatas.
legit high-end stuff. And he was that guy I was telling you guys about that I wanted to paint my Bronco. And I was trying to get a hold of him to paint my Bronco, and I was going on his website, and it was like the doves in the sky opened up and screamed when I saw it. And
That's
it
what
was I
happened
just
when I
clicked
saw my
around.
first Miata.
I clicked around on it, and it was, I'm not kidding. It was the photos were so immaculate. It was too hard to believe. So I called him and said, "Hey man, listen, I want to talk to you about painting my truck, but by the way, package that Miata up and send it." And he's like, "Do you want to test drive it?" I'm like, No. Just package it up for me. Send me the paperwork. I want that thing. And then I texted Josh and said, "Hey, there's a Miata coming to your house."
Yep.
Dude, Josh called me over it because he's like, "I got to keep this thing in the garage. So like, I got to put my truck outside." So I come over and I look, I'm like, "Dude, you could turn it sideways and still get your truck in the garage."
Hang it on the wall where they hang the
Bring it
ladders.
in the front door.
Well, we do have one special announcement, and that is if you're listening to this episode right now, the moment that this episode drops, these shirts are available.
Oh, fuck you guys.
These shirts are available on the Roadster Shop website. There's a very small run. I mean, this is a
hope there's
limited.
3.
This is a limited. What is there? Probably like 25, Jeremy?
There's not many. There's not many.
There's and
Dude,
I'm telling you what, this is a
that
piece of,
commands like,
oh, these aren't going to be cheap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not just anybody can get this.
No, if you're listening
I'm
right
gonna
now,
buy all of them.
if you're listening, you better go to the Roadster Shop website and pick you out one. There's going to be very limited run.
You know what, guys? I think that we can next day these to everybody, so they'll be out in time for SEMA. Also,
Look at that. I'm trying to turn this to just catch a little glimpse
Dude,
of it.
I got a
that camera.
fucking reputation to
I'm like-
uphold here. Come on.
Hey, listen, I wanted to figure out how to crane the thing up instead of the pool table, so when anyone came into the studio, they had to see it. But I couldn't figure out how to do that, so I just figured we'd get it to Josh's house. But I didn't know if the structure could hold it. I mean, it probably only weighs 600 pounds.
No, these two weaklings tried to lift it, and they couldn't get it off the ground.
Oh, we lifted like 8 inches.
Yeah.
Right. It's on tape.
Well, listen, guys. It's always a pleasure working with you guys. We've had a blast over the past year working on this, and
Dude, it's been awesome, man.
And this, this is one little trophy that you guys can do whatever you want with this puppy. So
put
I don't care
multiple
if you give
miles
it
on
away.
it as a daily
Oh,
driver.
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be at Road America Sunday.
on the go-kart track.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you and fuck you at the same time.
Dude, it's been awesome. Can't wait to see what season 2 holds, and look forward to it. Yeah, can't thank you enough.
Likewise, guys, enjoy it. And listen,
Thanks,
Phil,
dude.
you might say you hate those things, but nobody can hide the joy. I've never seen you have so much emotion.
Dude, my
when
heart
you
is
saw something.
racing
So-
right now.
It's
Still
like,
going.
It's like a little kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
It's like he got his Red
Yeah,
Ryder
yeah.
BB gun.
He did.
Yeah. All right,
thank
guys,
you
enjoy
very
your night.
much.
Later,
Appreciate
dude.
it.
All right,
Thanks,
see
man.
you guys.
Later.
All right, bye.
What a way to end the season.
I don't know how we're gonna start season 2 better than that.
Well, you can't
That's-
recreate that joy. I guarantee you can't.
Oh,
I can't. You can say what you want to. That's
It was-
pure
it
and
was
utter
fun.
joy.
That was fun.
we're gonna recreate that joy tomorrow morning when there's sunlight.
Yeah,
And it's
then
not
we're gonna
raining.
recreate
Yeah,
the whole
fuck
day.
yeah, we
every
are.
day.
Yeah.
I think the rain was key to getting the thing loose. I don't know that it'll break tires loose and
Oh, I'll bet it will.
Hey
think
guys, y'all
so?
go ahead and fly to SEMA. I got other plans.
Right. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of
Road
it's just like it's a
tour.
bunch of family stuff.
It's a couple of group of guys,
Right.
and fellow enthusiasts.
don't even worry
Yeah, we're
about
just
it.
gonna
we're
make a road
racing
trip.
to SEMA.
Yeah. I felt like the shifter was heating up. I feel like maybe like a Delrin shift knob.
Yeah, I thought I popped a
Like-
tire with Noah.
Did you?
Heard a loud pop.
Hmm.
And it just kind of keeled over a little bit. So
We might need something a little more
shock bushing, tire, something
a little
like
more sporty. Are those IRS cars or are they solid axles?
that. Yep, one of the two. If not one, then definitely the other.
I'll tell you what it has. It has Mazda rear suspension. For sure.
You
Still
know,
bone stock.
They lost me with that Sky Active technology.
I don't know who you are. I'm telling you what, he's on another level right now.
Oh, he's flying.
Do you realize after this podcast, everybody's laughing right now? After this, he's gonna be like, seriously, this thing got fucking wet. Like, help me clean this thing off.
Oh yeah,
Right?
there's
Let's put a fresh
Yeah.
coat of Carnauba on it.
Hey, is the detail guy still here?
yeah, we'll get Kilmer back out here, but Phil's gonna be down there with the absorber, sucking that thing dry. That's gonna get a nice coat of Carnauba wax in the morning.
Big thanks again to everyone who called in, took time out of their evening, and asked some questions. We met some new people.
We
We
did.
talked to some old friends. Great questions. This was actually
It's a lot of fun. So it's gonna be a long one, so bear with us.
it is a
for
long
this
one, but I think this was a lot of fun. We should probably look at possibly maybe doing a better job in structuring this for next year. But I think this is a good way of doing it.
A mid-season?
Maybe a mid-season extravaganza, if you will.
Yeah, if we could bring like
More Miatas.
multiple
If I can get a
Miatas.
second
Yeah.
Miata. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Thanks again for everybody listening to Oil and Whiskey with the RoadsterShop, an Ironclad original. If you like the show, be sure to leave us a rating and review. But let's face it, after 45 episodes, 46, 47, at this point, I'm just glad you're listening. Don't leave us a rating and review. Just thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you again next week.